The day he wasn't conscious of him behind him, got lost. Lynch doing what Lynch does so well, picks him out. Then Dublin are scrambling to make the cover, and no question should have been a black card. What else? Second time we've said it, and we said it a couple of weeks ago. Why was the rule brought in at all first day?
Well, if you see there, he fully wraps his hands around him and takes him to the ground. So that's the definition of a black card.
Yeah, the black card, deliberate drag down, is one of the things that come in, and a goal scoring opportunity. So anyway, regardless, it is Dublin with an incredible performance with 14 men for most of the game, who march on to the All-Ireland semi-finals. Who's going to be joining them in the last four? On the way, one of the closest rivalries in recent championship hurling. It's a sixth quarter-final meeting between Galway and Tipperary, all since the turn of the millennium.
For sheer entertainment, it's hard to beat Tipperary Galway matches. Only a puck of the ball between them. There's still a place against Kilkenny at stake. What a goal! That's a super goal! And Galway are through to the All-Ireland hurling semi-final.
Old traditional rivalry will be reignited here in Croke Park. Still Hayes, his pass blocked first time. Oh! A marvellous goal! Galway beat Tipperary, their arch-rivals, by 2 points.
The pitch in perfect condition, an ideal day for hurling. Oh, it's a great ball! All here for Seamus Coleman, and Tipperary have won the quarter-final. A game which had absolutely everything. An enormous game for both of these teams. An opportunity to score. What a goal! And Galway are through to the All-Ireland semi-finals. Tipperary bow out. Galway versus Tipperary All-Ireland quarter-final. Conor Whelan with the mix-up has scored. Terrible defending. The referee blows the whistle. Galway beat Tipperary. 2 points the margin.
Ayr, proud sponsors of the GAA Hurling All-Ireland Senior Championship.
Get ready for one of the most thrilling weekends in Irish horse racing, climaxing with one of the world's most prestigious races. The 160th running of the Irish Derby takes centre stage at Flat Racing HQ. Witness the excitement as some of the world's top horses and jockeys compete for racing glory.
And Los Angeles turns the tide, and Los Angeles wins the Derby!
Racing from the Curragh, next Saturday at 1:30 on RTE2 and RTE Player.
New Senstein Clinical Repair is absolutely the one I would use. It starts to work within 2 minutes from the very first brush to create an actual layer which helps to repair the sensitive part of the tooth. Iced coffee, ice cream, lots of things could be back on the menu. I really would recommend Senstein Clinical Repair.
Mary, Verisure Monitoring Centre. Are you home?
We are away. Why?
We've detected a break-in.
Oh no.
We're intervening by releasing the Zero Vision fog barrier and calling the Gardaí. The intruder has been expelled by the fog.
Make your home a Verisure home and get a free video doorbell setup.
Introducing the new fragrances of Comfort Scent Booster Elixir, with up to 10 times more freshness that goes on. And on. And on. And on. Wow! First pour your favourite comfort conditioner, then add your Scent Booster Elixir. With its bead-infused formula and scent lock technology to get that fully fresh feeling all day long. The all-new Comfort Scent Booster Elixir. Now that's next level fresh.
There's no peace of mind if the dishes are still soaking in the back of your mind. But with new Fairy Skip the Soak Power Spray, you can skip the soak with a quick. Just spray it on and load it in. Or just load it and spray it. The grease just melts away, and when I hand wash, a quick. And I get the power of an overnight soak in minutes. It also gives you a sparkling clean on kitchen worktops. New Fairy Skip the Soak Power Spray.
The moment I feel my pain starting to fade, it's like I'm going back to myself on a good day. Panadol Extra Soluble. Powerful pain relief. Panadol. Release starts here.
You can't plan for your periods, oh my gosh moments.
But with the new Always Ultra, you won't need to. Thanks to its new generation top sheet that combines a gentle feel with absorbent power, this pad absorbs gushes better than ever, so you can feel clean and dry. The gush happens fast. That's why Always absorbs faster. Say goodbye gush fears. Always Ultra for up to 100% leak protection. It's a new period.
Work it. Work to be a winner. Sweat. Work.
New Sure Whole Body Deodorant. All day odour protection. Sure, it won't let you down.
We're serving up summer at Dunnes Stores with a picnic spread to impress. Feast on a delicious Italian antipasti platter. Tear and share bread with camembert. Or flaky pork and pancetta sausage rolls. And vibrant salads to keep things light. That's everything you need for picnic season at Dunnes Stores. Plus, you can save at the till with a 10 off 50 grocery voucher. Dunnes Stores. Always better value.
All these fancy clothes.
Sometimes things are big for no reason, but not the Bigster. The big space you need, the big boot you want, and the big hybrid power you love to drive. The only thing that's not big is the price. Dacia Bigster, available from €29,990 at your local Dacia dealer.
Pass the soap there, Lee, pal. That was a poor effort, in fairness.
Bord Gosh Energy, sponsors of the GAA Hurling Championship.
The hurling world has been kind of shaken to its core. Can these men from Galway join Dublin? And perhaps proving the people who say that it's all about Munster hurling these days a little bit wrong? Or can Tip break the trend and stop a 3 in a row, which Galway are on in victories over Tip in Championship hurling? We have the second All-Ireland quarter-final coming up very shortly. Galway against Tipperary at 6:15. Micheál Donoghue didn't actually lose a quarter-final in his 4 previous years as Galway manager, but both his years in charge of the Dubs ended at this very stage. Liam Cahill has only reached 1 with Tip, and that ended with a 2-point defeat to Galway. We'll hear from both managers after team news with Marty Morrissey.
Let's start with the Galway side. Derek Fahy is back between the posts for Galway, having missed the Leinster final against Kilkenny due to suspension. His puck-out strategy will be crucial to his county this evening. Just look at the Galway full back line. Pádraig Mannion, Dahi Burke and Fintan Burke, no relation, in the other corner. Now that's what you call a strong line, full of experience and with a clear thou shalt not pass attitude. TJ Brennan is out, and unfortunately from a Galway perspective, and his place goes to Ronan Glennon, with Gavin Lee a solid and a pacey number 6 and clearly growing into the role. At number 5 is Keenan Fahy, brother of the keeper. Sean Lennon is once again partnered with David Burke in the middle of the field, and their combined performances are crucial to Galway this evening. Carl Mannion has been brilliant in this championship, top scorer by a country mile, but he will need a lot of more help from 2 late changes. Conor Cooney and Colin Malloy come in on the wings. The Galway full forward line has been playing really well, with Brian Concannon a major threat at full forward. Kevin Cooney scored 3 points in the Leinster final, while captain Conor Whelan is in a different class entirely. And the Galway substitutes include Anthony Burns, Declan McLaughlin and Jason Flynn, who could all see action over the next 70 minutes or more. Let's look at Tipperary. Rhys Shelley has established himself as first-choice goalkeeper in this championship campaign, making his first appearance against Clare, and is now clearly the number 1. The full back line is built on strength and an abundance of skill. Robert Doyle, Owen Connolly and Michael Breen fulfil all the criteria. You'll find it difficult to find a better half back line in the country than the Tipperary 5, 6 and 7. Craig Morgan, Ronan Maher and Brian O'Mara are quite formidable. Willie Connors and Peter McGarry are a new combination in the middle of the field for the Premier County. It's Peter McGarry's first start in a Tipperary senior jersey. The sensation of the championship has been centre forward Andrew Ormond. Started against Clare and scored 2 goals and a point. Jake Morris and Sam O'Farrell complete an impressive half-forward line. John McGrath and Jason Ford have always had the X factor, but their experience and goal-scoring touch added to the youthful flair and free-taking of Darren McCarthy is a lethal cocktail. The Tipperary substitute bench has plenty of talent. Under 20 All-Ireland medalist Oisin O'Donoghue is there. Well, there are two sets of brothers available, the McGraths, Nolan Bryan, as well as the Stakelums, Conor and Dara. Well, let's go down to the sideline because just a short time ago, my colleague Colin Mullaney spoke to the two managers.
Micheál, the very best of luck today. You said after the Leinster final you had full faith in your players to respond to that performance. How has the response been over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, thanks, Carl. Look, training has gone really well the last 2 weeks. A lot of experience in the squad, but look, similar to round robin, the games come so thick and fast, you can't really dwell on them, and as I said, the lads have trained well the last 2 weeks.
In terms of the areas you've been focusing on since then, what will you be targeting today?
Look, I think the biggest thing is consistency. You know, I think when you reflect back on the Leinster final, it was just periods in the game that we hurled, so we're looking for a more consistent performance for the 70 minutes today.
In terms of what changes from the provincial championship into the All-Ireland series, is it a step up?
I don't know. I suppose if you believe everything from outside, probably they expect so. But look, we're ready for a big challenge. I think down through the years, there's been great games against Tipperary, very little between them. So I'd expect maybe something like that today.
What are you expecting from Tipperary today?
Well, look, I'm not really expecting a whole lot. It's more I'm concentrating on ourselves and what we're expecting and what we want. And as I said, the lads are in a good place now, so hopefully we get a good performance.
Conditions are very favourable as things stand. There's been a bit of rain before it's thrown, but it's all set up for a big occasion today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It looks like maybe a shower and that might clear it up, so that'll be conducive to a good game.
Liam, best of luck today. Big game. Are these the days that you look forward to all year?
Yeah, they are called knockout championship hurling. You know, the pitch here in pristine condition, and just hoping now that the overhead conditions will stay good for hopefully it'll be a good game of hurling.
You're coming in off the back of that win last week. How beneficial was it to get that game under your belt after the Munster Championship?
Yeah, it was important. You know, you can do all the training you like, really, but a game like that just hopefully blows off any cobwebs that may have been there. And look, we're in good shape coming into today, and hopefully we'll transpire that out onto the field.
Where are the main areas you'll be targeting to improve on today?
Yeah, well, sure. Look at our conversion rate has to improve a bit. You know, especially our goal-taking opportunities. We left quite a number of behind us the last day in Portlaoise. So if we create them opportunities again today, now we need to be putting them away. But Galway have a lot of threats up front as well that we'll have to try and nullify because they are a serious outfit when they get into a flow, and that'll be our objective, to get our matchups right and hopefully go from there.
You have a couple of players back into the team today. Do you feel like your squad is coming to its strongest now at the crucial time of the year?
Yeah, it is. You know, different players come into play at different times and depending on opposition as well. But anyone that's playing today are there on merit. They've trained really well and have put their hand up in training. And you know, you have to reward these guys when they're putting in that kind of an effort. And hopefully today will go well for all the new boys that are in.
It's a massive day for them. These two have just had this incredibly rivalry. Why, Joe? Why is that rivalry between those two counties so big?
I don't know. I think it's probably when we get together, we just go out and hurl. There's not too many like sweepers or tactics, especially in the last number of years anyway. I think through like 15, 16, 17, 3 semi-finals, there was only a point between us. Even go back to 14, Tip beat us late on, I think, a quarter-final then, and there hasn't been much between the two teams. And obviously the local rivalry, I know better than anybody from Portumna on the border, Tipperary with Lura there. So yeah, we don't really like each other too much when we're.
I think that's the correct answer to the question.
That's probably
is it?
That's probably the PC. Yeah, try not. But yeah, we always tell each other who wins and who loses fairly quickly after games. Anyway, yeah.
When there has been a seismic result elsewhere, because obviously, John, everybody's in there concentrating on their own game, but Limerick gone and knocked out by Dublin, does that filter through, and what happens then?
No, look, I'm sure the result got through to both dressing rooms, but I don't think so. Look, all they're focused on is, you know, trying to get out here now in a few minutes' time and just be ready for this game. You know, it's a huge game and going forward. And yes, you have a massive opportunity as well.
There is a bit of a Tip crowd bubbling here. That they look to be overwhelmingly here ahead of the Galway fans. Right down in the middle of the pitch at the moment, Michael Dignan is alongside Colin Mullaney.
Yes, Joanne, thank you very much. Down here with Michael at the side of the pitch. Michael, just a word on those Galway changes. 3 of them before throw-in. What do you make of that?
Yeah, Colin, I tell you, very surprised. Not the first shock of the day, but after what we saw in Croke Park. But TJ Brennan, John Fleming and Tom Monaghan, the 3 of them, you know, have been dropped just before the start. I thought all 3 have been very, very good for Galway during the championship. But obviously they're picking their team based on form. So Ronan Glennon, Conor Cooney and Colin Malloy come into the team. Colin Malloy's missed a couple of matches through injury. So big big changes, but obviously shows that the Galway panel going well at the moment.
In terms of Tipperary, real sense of momentum building around Tip.
Yeah, I think the last couple of years, look, their minors, I think that was a big one. I think, the 13 men beating Kilkenny in that final, the under-20s this year, and the Tip support back behind the county again. So huge momentum behind them, with Peter McGarry again starting in the middle of the field today for them. So it shows again competition for places there.
Always a huge rivalry between these two counties. What sort of a game are you expecting today?
Yeah, well, I think that balances it out. I think Tip on form maybe should be favourites, but that'll go out the window. Galway and Tip goes back a long way. We go back to the great Tony Keady and back to the 80s and all of that rivalry, which never goes away. They're across the borders from each other, so that will narrow the gap. Nice breeze blowing down the field towards the city. So, look, I think there won't be a puck of the ball in it, but I'll probably go for Tip for the win.
Just Tip?
Just Tip, yeah.
Michael, thanks very much indeed. Should be a cracker, Joanne. We're really looking forward to throwing. It's fast approaching.
Yeah, for some reason they always are a cracker when these two meet. I hope I haven't just jinxed the whole thing. Galway, everybody talks about inconsistency. Micheál Donoghue talked about getting consistent performance back to back. Do they have an issue with goals at both ends?
Yeah, well, look, they've had some good performances. It is hard to get the Kilkenny performances out of your mind. And in terms of that question around goals, one thing that definitely stands out, when you look at it, they got 9 goals overall in the Leinster Championship. 6 of those were against Antrim. So with all due respect, you are going to take that as maybe an outlier. But if you look at the other games, if you look at the 2 games that they played against Kilkenny, they only scored 1 goal, but they conceded 6. That's a fair turnaround in 2 games. And then if you look at the Wexford and Dublin games that they played, they only scored 1 in both of those games, and you can see conceded 5. So, like, it's definitely something that must be standing out. You hear Liam Cahill on about Tipperary going for goals, and Tip always want to go for goals. We know that, but I do think from a Galway point of view, they are going to have to get more goals if we are going to see a victory from them today.
And it will be interesting to see the positioning of that man there who was in for the toss for Galway as well. But their defence is also coming up, and this is more their half-back line, is coming up against a couple of players whose just movement has taken an awful lot of people's eyes.
Yeah, I think this year alone, with the introduction of Andrew Ormond, even Sam O'Farrell, but Ormond from centre forward, he's really intelligent with his movement. He's kind of going across the field more so than actually forward or back. And here he links up with Jake Morris, lovely, simple score, but it could have been a goal chance. Here again, even off a free, he's just moving to the side, and it's asking different questions of your centre back. He's trying to drag him out of position a lot of the time, and then again he's up in support. You just see him here, the hand up, looking for a ball, doesn't get the first one, but he's running off, takes him on, drag down a free, and he's actually taken a little bit of heat off Jake Morris, because he's looping around then, getting on the scoreboard. But it's opening up the middle, especially for Tipperary, to run down through. Now Craig Morgan is back in the half-back line, but he was, in other games, he was going down the centre a lot of the time, because that was opening up from Ormond's movement left and right.
And that obviously leads us into the Galway centre-back conversation, which has been there the whole time since Micheál Donoghue took the decision to move Gavin Lee back there. Declan Hannon with Limerick started, the forward going back to centre-back. And, of course, you obviously are an all-star, an All-Ireland winner from having been full forward to now centre-back. Would you just tell us about the transition?
Yeah, look, it is a difficult transition for any player, especially when you're used to playing in the forwards. And you've seen great aspects of his game that he's been super going forward, but sometimes he needs to learn how to sit back and position himself in front of the full back line and just distribute play. But in fairness, look, I think it's a long-term project that Galway should stick by, and I've seen enough in him to see that he'll be a super centre back going forward.
Have you really? Because what did you find most difficult in it? Was it that the knowing when to come or go?
It was just learning. Like every day you're going out learning a new skill. You're coming up against different opposition. Today he's coming up against Kyle Mannion, who, if you leave free, from anywhere within 70-80 yards, he's going to score it. So it depends on the player you're playing and kind of reading the game in front of it. Sometimes you need to push up, and sometimes you need to sit back. It's not as easy anymore to just sit back in the pocket at centre back.
As the championship has gone on, what have been your thoughts on it? And everybody keeps saying stick or twist.
I'd stick. He's a young guy. I think you have to back him. So, he's played nearly all the league and all championships, number 6. You have to stick with him. He obviously needs to learn, and it's very hard in this championship to learn for such a young guy. But he has a lot of potential, Gavin, in fairness to him. But I think there'll be a little bit of movement around. Maybe Sean Lennon might go back, wing back, Ronan Glennon, I'd say, will go midfield. Conor Cooney to the wing, Conor Whelan to the wing, and then Colin Malloy will go in the corner, I'd say. I think that's how they'll shape up more so, but he needs help around him. Do you know what I mean? Keenan Fahey, Sean Lannan either side, two aggressive, fast guys as well, and then with Dahi and Porrick and Darren in the back, he needs other guys to help him as well. Do you know? And even Davy Burke in midfield, he'll have that experience. Ronan Glennon has legs. Do you know? So I think they have to stick with him.
Donlogue, was it a Tipperary point you specifically wanted to come in on there?
On the tip point, I do think like it's. I think Michael mentioned form there. Like if Tip are very interesting in that they drew with Limerick. Maybe the value of drawing with Limerick, no, maybe he's gone slightly off today, right? But on the day it was a big one. It was a really good game. Then if you do take the Cork one out of it, because the start that day with everything that happened with Darren McCarthy and so on, like obviously that had a huge colour on the game. So they drew with Limerick. Then they beat Clare. It was an outstanding game. Again, going for goals, those goals being the difference that day, John, and beat Waterford. So their form coming into this has been really good.
Are they actually, though? I know you're saying that, but are they kind of another one of these teams who are hard to read? Possibly because of what Donlogue there said there about we now don't really know about Limerick, and obviously the sending off against Cork.
Yeah, look, both teams I think are hard to read in a way.
I'm sorry, you weren't there for the Tip game either. Like Clare were missing players.
That's why.
But looking back, like, you know, it's great to see players like John McGrath and Jason Ford finding form again. As we discussed, you know, Andrew Ormond at centre forward, like he's been a shining light that, you know, that probably no one in Tipperary saw early on in the year. So look, they're here on merit. They're here, you know, with massive confidence, and look, it's going to be a great game going forward. And as we just discussed, it's a massive rivalry. So, you know, any team can win, I think.
Well, they're a lot more settled this year than before. Like Ronan Maher, even for centre back, he, like last year, if you remember, he was going maybe full back, wing back, corner back, kind of quenching a lot of fires. Whereas Connolly now has kind of nailed down 3, Mikey Breen is 4, and Ronan can sit in centre back and just play his own game from there. Even having Brian O'Mara back there, and Robert Doyle is a new guy as well, and they just seem more settled. Every day they're going out now, they have a settled team, whereas before they were kind of mixing and matching, and that's always hard to get a bit of cohesion going, you know.
It is, and then on the other side, like they have a nice mix. Like we spoke about John McGrath there, like Jason Ford has been around, but then they've got the youngsters of Darren McCarthy, Sam O'Farrell, and so on, and Jake Morris is always dangerous, and like the mood is positive in Tip. From my experience, they rise and fall mood-wise faster than anybody that ever came across in the hurling world. But the mood is positive. They had a very strong under-21 team. Obviously, great success with Brendan Cummins, who was talking there earlier on. So, on form, you'd have to say that they're in a good place. They feel in a better place than Galway, but to the points that were made earlier on, this is tribal from the 80s when it comes to Galway and Tip.
Yeah, you see it with the crowd. Looking around here now, sometimes it's hard to see the maroon at times, but
I think that's because there's very little of it, Joe.
It's majority Tipperary. It's a long way since we were down in Thurles last year and Cork outnumbered Tipperary. So yeah, they have the crowd back behind them already.
Yeah, but it's brutal from a Galway point of view, Joe.
Yeah.
It's meant to be a hurling place.
Yeah,
like, it's more than the majority. When Galway were coming out onto the team here, you'd hear a bigger cheer in a club game.
We heard a big cheer when Limerick were beaten anyway. But final word to John Conlon. Won't get you to predict who's going to win, but maybe just tell us what way you see this game going. Do you see the consistency, getting a decent performance from Galway?
Yeah, look, like they have to come with it. Like, you know, it's do or die now here today. Like, and look, like as we just discussed, it's a massive rivalry. There'll be nothing between these two teams, and you know, it just come down to little moments.
Okay, we'll just pause. Agus muss me live Totrocht or fall Osquega freshen.
And so the story of the second quarter-final is about to start. Sean Stack from the Parnells Club in Dublin. It's his first All-Ireland quarter-final. It's Galway against Tipperary. Tipperary won the toss. They're playing from left to right as we look. So they've decided to take the wind advantage at the very beginning. And immediately straight into the action. It's a free for Galway as Brian Concannon was heading towards goal and Tipperary stopped him in his tracks.
Yeah, just as Joe mentioned there, Marty, before the game, a couple of changes. Ronan Glennon has gone to the middle of the field. Sean Lamb back, wing back. You see Colin Malloy inside in the full forward. And Brian Concannon has started here at wing forward, and Conor Cooney out the field at the moment as well.
He really has been the man in form for Galway, one of the few up to now, scoring 2 goals and 54 points in the championship journey. It's Cathal Mannion. First free, which will settle the nerves, no doubt, as he puts that over the bar.
Yeah, nice free to start. He's been absolutely brilliant, Marty, as you say, and he switched into the full forward line against Kilkenny and made a huge difference, and that's where he started, inside the full forward.
Ball is popped out by Rhys Shelley, gathered superbly by Andrew Ormond. Under a little bit of pressure, thought he was going to get in the fray. He looks at the referee. No advantage was being given, no reaction at all, in fact, from Sean Stack, and that means that the ball is definitely gone wide.
Yeah, great catch. I thought it was a free, but he let it play on in bad wide after, but he thought he had the free.
Breaking ball, just getting a little touch there was Peter McGarry. Laying it off quickly for his Jake Morris from the middle of the pitch, sending it between the posts and over the bar. Good score.
And Marty, that'll give you an idea of the breeze that was out there just a few minutes ago. I'd say a 4 or 5 point breeze at least blowing down the field. He just lobbed that and carried all the way.
Galway go for a reasonably short puck out, well gathered in the second attempt, playing it a little bit wide. Good understanding, good work by David Burke. Saw the running of Fintan Burke, same club as they go forward. Good work by Fintan, nice pass inside, pulling the brakes. Cathal Mannion making an angle for himself and sending the slipper between the posts and over the bar for his second point of the game. One from a free, one from play. Good start.
Yeah, great vision there by David Burke up the wing. Darren Morrissey going through there into Cathal Mannion. And this is just where he's so good. His awareness of space around him, just cut back inside and knocked it up.
Rhys Shelley using the puck out as long and as strong as he can, using the wind, getting it back for Sam O'Farrell. Difficult enough angle, and he sends that to the right and wide. One of the new up-and-coming players, captained the Tipperary under-20 team to the All-Ireland below in Nolan Park against Kilkenny a few weeks ago. Really good player. Puck out is aimed at Gavin Lee. He's under pressure. Gobbled up by the Tipperary half-forward line. Slipping and sliding. We've had rain, now we've sunshine. Getting the ball away is chasing after is Darren McCarthy. Referee saw the pull across by McCarthy, and that's going to be a free for Galway. Little reaction as well, I think, from David Burke.
Yeah, flick in from behind her, definitely a free. And sorry, I was just looking in there at David Burke. Yeah, he wasn't happy about that. I think it obviously got a slap on the knee there from behind.
Pádraig Mannion going to take this. On a day when Dublin will definitely get the headlines. Pádraig made his debut against Dublin 10 years ago. Well won. Trying to create the space. Brian Concannon playing at that right half forward position. Tipperary backs are there, trying to nip it away. Conor Whelan is out there as well. He's looking on anxiously. The captain trying to see if he can make himself available for the player in possession, giving it back. Good defending by Tipperary. Hurleys are flying. Football in Tipperary is pretty good as well. Galway, however, have it. The pass inside is not a good one. Picked up by Jake Morris. Two of the Nina Rogue boys playing in this team, both of them in the half-forward line. Sam O'Farrell the other. Nice stick work by John McGrath. Flicking it forward. McGrath over for his Jason Ford. The two boys that I said in the scene set have the X factor, and you can see why.
Yeah,
experienced.
Sorry, Marty, beautiful piece of skill there by John McGrath, first of all, but he has that vision, Jason Ford over the bar. Just looking at Galway here with Conor. Sorry, Marty, we'll go with the play, we'll come back to it.
Giving it ball back is Keenan Fahy, sending it into the centre. Looking for it, Gavin Lee made the run, got a little flick to it, has to gather it second time round. Playing well. Normally we were used to Gavin starting his career wing forward. Oh, there's a frontal charge on Conor Cooney. And referee immediately blew his whistle, and he's indicating that he wants to have a word with Jake Morris.
Yeah, it's in the front, like it is with the shoulder, but it's into the front, frontal charge. No card, anything like that, but he hit him very hard. I've just commented about Galway. They've Conor Whelan, Brian Concannon and Conor Cooney in their half hour. They're very, very experienced and powerful. And Cathal Mannion gone inside. He'll drift from there. Colin Malloy, who missed the last few matches, played against Offaly earlier, very, very lively. So nice shape about them. You can see Galway going short with the puckouts into that wind as well. And at the same time, Tipperary, I think, will be happy enough the way they've started to.
Yellow card for Jake Morris. But can I just say, Michael, that I'm a bit surprised TJ Brennan is not playing. I think he's been their best player.
Well, Cathal Mannion has been their outstanding player, and TJ Brennan, to me, next best. But it's obviously based on training, Marty. It has to be based on form. Maybe different style with Sean Lennon is a different type of player. Ronan Glennon brings energy to the middle of the field. So it's a combination, but he must feel very hard done by, as a player.
This free going to be taken by Cathal Mannion. Between the 45 and 65, just slightly left of centre. Should be well within his range. That camera angle will tell the picture. And Cathal Mannion straight over the black spot, never in any doubt. What is there gone? There's 6 minutes and he scored 3 points. Reece Shelley decides to go short this time. He's going to get the pass back. And now gives it plenty of oxygen. Dropping on the 20-metre line. Breaking ball. Galway have the situation under control. Oh, the shoulder, you could see it coming all the way from Ballina between just over the bridge from Killaloe. You could see that Michael Breen was setting himself up for the challenge. To Ronan Glennon's great credit, he just bounced back. He was hit a fair wallop, which was a fair one.
He did. It was just after the ball, maybe it was the only thing. Conor Cooney, they're the ones that define Conor. He poked that one wide. If he gets on a roll, he can poke 4 and 5 from play, but sometimes he hits those few wides from distance.
Gone forward is Pádraig Mannion. Looking around to see who's available. He sent the message that that's what he was going to do, and Tipperary anticipated that particular pass, and as a result it's a giveaway by Pádraig Mannion, and well taken by Andrew Ormond.
Yeah, Pádraig Mannion will be disappointed with that. He's normally brilliant coming out with those and spraying the ball into space. Well read, and Andrew Ormond, who's been the big find for Tipperary, I think, this summer, along with a couple, Darren McCarthy and O'Farrell, but him especially.
Oh, fabulous catch, Ronan Maher. Beating Conor Whelan, laying it off to Sam O'Farrell. Quick hands, as far as John McGrath. Out over the sideline. Sideline ball is going to Tipperary. Coming across to take it will be Jason Ford. He scored 2 goals and 23 points up to this match. He's already scored 1 here, making 224. But of that total, 20 were frees and 2 were sideline cuts.
Yeah, I think he'll fancy this. Lovely angle for him.
Cuts it in. Oh, will it curl? Oh, it will. Beautiful. Full credit to Jason Ford. Absolutely cut it in for the far over post. It just sneaked inside.
Yeah, all made by that brilliant catch by Ronan Maher. That is not something Galway want to do. This is one of the best men that I've ever seen in the air, is Ronan Maher. And he's tracking Conor Whelan everywhere.
Keenan Fahy goes down that far over wing. Galway have opportunities here. Recycle it back, far as Conor Whelan, well known for his beautiful wrist work. Still Whelan laying it up to Concannon. He turns on a pivot. Sends it wide. But the skill of Conor Whelan is just a joy to watch. He has the vision, he has the wrist, he has the unselfishness, and Brian Concannon was desperately unlucky. Tipperary going to the attack. Here comes Jake Morris. Inside is Andrew Ormond. Morris, Ormond, heading towards goal. Derek Fahy did well. And looking pretty lethal up front, those Tipperary forwards. Ball comes back for Sean Lennon. Sitting down the middle. Leaving it behind, however, is Ronan Glennon. Gone forward is Darren McCarthy. No free given. Referee looks around, gives it for his Dai Burke, who sends it into the space. Chasing after this Conor Cooney. Slither was hit too powerfully. Sideline ball going to Galway.
Yeah.
Going to Tipperary.
Taken quickly again.
Tipperary try to open it up, and they do open it up with a great diagonal ball. First touch was poor. Dahi Burke arrived on the late bus, but he got there enough to block it. Good work by John McGrath. They know each other well. Laying it off. Ferris chase forward, and that's over the bar. McGrath and Ford are the dynamic duo up front, and they really are causing Galway problems.
Absolutely, Marty. The vision of John McGrath. 2 good goal chances either side. Kilkenny be disappointed after a great play from Whelan. Jake Morris did well to find Ormond, weak shot, and Ronan Glennon got back as well there to make an important interception.
Galway's ball all the way. Comes up Ferris. Kevin Cooney is going for it, but it's tailing to the right and wide. Against the wind, you need to play it around a little bit. Send the ball into your colleagues in the full forward line. Breaking ball knocked down. Ferris John McGrath going for the score. And again, it's Ford and McGrath. Ford knocked it down. McGrath grabbed it and sent a sliotar straight between the posts.
Yeah, beautiful play there by Ford. He knew what he was doing, but McGrath from the stand and start. The Tipperary forwards rotating. Galway don't know who's on who. John McGrath's out here at right half forward now. We haven't seen him here all year, and it's confusing the Tipperary or the Galway back so far.
Puck out from Derek Fahy was aimed at Conor Whelan. Didn't quite work out according to plan. Sends it down the wing, the same wing, and Tipperary forwards are certainly exposing the Galway defence in these early stages as Jake Morris puts that over the bar for his second point.
Yeah, and Galway have had a couple of poor wides, Marty, as I said. They need to be working the ball inside. They're taking shots into the wind from out the field, and they need now, early in the day, it's only 11 minutes gone, but the Kilkenny match was a bit the same. They lost the grip on the game, and it took them a long, long time to get back into it.
Tipperary half backline winning the long puck outs as well. So Galway, I know it's only 11, almost 12 minutes gone, but they certainly have a few problems to rectify. Well picked up by Brian O'Mara, but the ball is given away. Opportunity here for Galway. Kevin Cooney has to recycle it back out. There's Carl Mannion, right man, right place, but he's surrounded by 3-4 Tipperary players. Unselfishly gives it back to Brian Kilkenny. Great defending by Tipperary. Good block down, the trip is there. It's obvious, and the stop of the hurley into the ground says it all. Tipperary are up for it on and off the field.
Yeah, brilliant discipline defending, but the ball gone inside again to Jake Morris.
Referee has blown his whistle. Jake Morris indicates why the free was given. He felt the jersey was being pulled. Sean Stack, the referee from Parnells in Dublin, also felt the same, and that's going to be a free for Tipperary.
And it's the speed, I think, Marty, the Tipper doing everything at the puck outs. Quick free there from Brian O'Mara up the wing. Jake Morris has gone in at full, switched with John McGrath, just to change things up on Dahi Burke, to use that pace that he has to drag Burke away from the goals. He's obviously brilliant under the high ball. So tactically, Tip very, very good up front since it started again.
Derek McCarthy is the only one of the full forward line that hasn't scored so far. Under 20 All-Ireland medalists. He has scored 28 points up to now, and that is going to remain the same, I'm afraid. Disappointment for Darren McCarthy on this occasion. But it will come good knowing him. Tipperary management team looking on. They need to take full advantage of this breeze in the opening half. This is better from Brian Concannon. Derek Fahy finding him well. Nice ball inside. Little twist and turn. Good drop down again. Simplicity again by Tipperary, doing the simple things so well.
Yeah, that's Colin Malay out in front, and that's Robert Doyle, who's become, really tigerish man marking cornerback, come into the Tip team this year. Good play from Galway there, good puck out, moved the ball in quickly, but that's a feature of Tip so far. That's their third or fourth lockdown since it started again.
Heading towards the 14th minute. Galway haven't scored since the 6th minute. A little bit of pressure. Nice stick work here by Conor Cooney, and a ball across the face of the goal, which Conor Whelan would gather. Looks at the post, thinks about having a go, goes on to his right, and that is superb. Conor Whelan, all-star in 2017 and 2023, captain of this Galway side, leading with a fine score.
Yeah, gorgeous score. Took a couple of touches again, maybe weary of being blocked down, took the extra touch, turned back onto his right side, made it a bit more difficult, but a super score.
Straight down the middle. Andrew Ormond is the centre half forward. Stalemate in the middle of the field, and it's Ormond that comes away with it. He really has been outstanding since being introduced against Clare and Cusack Park and Ennis. After all that hard work, he lays it off. And both the supplier and the finisher John McGrath deserve full credit.
Yeah, and here's McGrath. I've been mentioning it, Marty, for the last few minutes. He's at left corner forward now. He was right half forward when he got his last score. And Galway can't get to grips with that movement from the tip forwards.
Ball into the centre towards David Burke. Nice ball. On the run is Kevin Cooney, but the pass is overhit. Couldn't reach it, and Tipperary will sweep it up and send it back into the Galway half of the field. Dahi Burke just getting a little touch to it, enough to get the ball away. David Burke, a lovely little wrist work by the St. Thomas's man, and indeed a bit of ground hurling as well. First, Carl Mannion combining nicely from out the field against the wind. The umpires are perfectly positioned to signal a white flag, and that's a very good score against a pretty strong wind here.
Yeah, Marty, look at the little flick and the flick off the ground. That's brilliant from David Burke. But the strike from Mannion into the wind, and Galway, they've created a couple of half-goal chances themselves.
Dropping ball. It's anybody's. It's Tipperary's at the moment. Good defending by Galway. They get it back outside. Opportunity comes to Jason Ford. And the Silvermines man is on fire, I have to say. Everything he's done so far has been inch perfect. It's his 4th point of the game.
Yeah, and he's been positioned around the 11 position, but Andrew Ormond has been there as well. He's just drifting off the full forward line, and nobody is picking him up. He's causing huge problems for Galway.
Oh, beautiful flick. Farrell's David Burke sending it in. It's still there for anybody as Tipperary find it a little bit too hot to handle. They deal with it now. They're coming out with it. Sean Stack, the referee, gets out of the way, and away goes Tipperary, turning defence into attack, giving it plenty of height, plenty of distance. Peter McGarry, Derek Fahy watches it all the way. Back after being suspended after the Dublin game, so he missed the Leinster final. Comes as far as Gavin Lee from Claren Bridge, sends it down the diagonal route over towards us here, but Tipperary are anticipating that. Good defending on this occasion by Craig Morgan into the centre towards his centre half back Ronan Maher. Good play by the Tipperary defence. They look up, they have the time to look up, and then they go long, very long. There's a little touch. Jason Morris almost had it. Going back to gather it is Pádraig Mannion. The goalkeeper comes off his goal line. He's looking across towards Keenan Fahy. Fahy is underneath it and is there to deal with it. He's no support over there, so he has to go forward. Darragh McCarthy was coming in to challenge. Conor Whelan gets there, should gather it, beautiful, but unfortunately runs out of space, out over the wide line. He knows himself he'd be rather disappointed, just couldn't control it quick enough. Sideline ball for Tipperary.
Yeah, Marty, and even though Tipper well on top 9-5 in the scoreboard, Galway have had a couple of little half chances. They're hanging in there well, settling in a bit better, a few mistakes. 4 points, not huge with that wind. But it's just getting to grips at the back here. And I think that high ball for Tip not working. When they spray it to the wings, they're doing way better. But Dahi Burke and Pádraig Mannion very comfortable under that high ball.
Ronan Maher from Thurles Sarsfields. Championship debutant actually against Galway in 2014. As time ticks away. They've started a corner back, wing back. Now at centre half back. And it's Galway. They come away with it. They have players available. Conor Cooney is the player that was calling for it, and that is sneaking just inside the post and over the bar. Good score, Conor Cooney.
Yeah, that was worked out brilliantly. Pádraig Mannion onto Cathal Mannion. Cathal has come back out the field now. Conor Whelan has got inside, but and Conor Cooney is that type of player, as I said. If he can get a couple of scores on the board, he's very dangerous.
Puck out is kept in by Andrew Ormond, picked up by Fintan Burke, gives it back far as Gavin Lee. He'll pump it down the middle channel. Great vision, I love it. Great work by the Tipperary defence. They knew that the player was available. Brian O'Mara showing a little bit too much to it. Stopped now, has to go back. The call comes, the hook was just a little bit late and under pressure. The ball is sent in, but the ball has gone to the left and wide. And that is Tipperary's 4th wide of the match so far. Ron O'Mara will be disappointed, but he was under pressure, to be fair to him. Keenan Fahy gets the puck out from the brother in the goals. And Galway work the ball out down the middle channel. Available is Ronan Glennon. Hit too strong. Should be Tipperary's all the way. They get their messages right, and then they send it down the wing. Sam O'Farrell chasing after this. Just inside the Galway 20-metre line, giving it back towards Jason Ford. The man can do nothing wrong. Jason Ford. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's his 6th point of the game, 5th point of the game.
4 from play, Marty, but Sam O'Farrell again, he's done that a couple of times, and I think that teamwork, that vision O'Farrell played wing back for the 20s in the Ireland final, captain, up here wing forward, was showing his pace there, and he's not greedy, threw the ball to the man in the better position. A lovely score.
Jake Morris has all the time in the world to go long. Dahi Burke coming in to challenge. Finton Burke is in there as well. Dahi takes control. He's about to go long, decides to go short, and it's not the right option. And Tipperary go forward. Opportunity coming towards the Premier County, and that's over the bar. And that really should have been cleared as Sam O'Farrell, who scored a goal and a point against Laois, gets his first point in this match. But really, Willie Connor snapping onto it, had the unselfishness nature to give it to Sam O'Farrell, and he put it over the bar.
Yeah, I think that's the third time Galway coming out that have been intercepted, and they're going to have to tidy up on that.
Long puck out by Derek Fahey. Pulled on first time. Oh, this is a good ball. Brian Concannon. But again, Tipperary defensive there. Great work by Brian Concannon to get the ball back. And he saw that Conor Whelan was gone inside, and it could still work out for Galway. Referee has blown his whistle and he's given a free out to Galway. It was a series of errors, and ball breaking not towards Tipperary but towards Galway. They should have the situation under control.
You can see there Conor Whelan ran in over the back. That was what the free out was given for. But you're right, Marty, there was comedy of errors there. And at Galway, that's 2 or 3 times for the ball. Here we go, a long one again, a quick free.
Reece Shelley dropping it in. Can they get a touch? Ball is wide. 21 minutes gone, 5 points between the teams. Tipperary fully deserving of their 5-point advantage. I think Liam Cahill, judging by that picture we just showed you a moment ago, would like a little bit more up front. And Tipperary certainly have the possession. Here they go again, going down that middle channel. Oh, here comes Dahi Burke. Old-fashioned full-back at this stage, but attacking the ball from the front. Ball gone towards Conor Whelan, can't hold on to it, gets a little touch. It's a little bit slippy after the rain, gets the ball away, out to the wing as Galway start again. It's Keenan Fahey trying to lend assistance to the Galway attack, probably taking a little bit too much out of it. Ball is given away, and Tipperary send it on the wing, outnumbered, but not outbeaten by any stretch of the imagination. Twisting, turning, trying to get away is Darren McCarthy. Good defending by Galway, and Tipperary lunge another ball in. Jason Ford chasing after it. Good work by Pádraig Mannion. These two boys would have played against each other so many times. Shoulder to shoulder and hip to hip in the past, as it is now. Mannion goes long, gets the ball inside. There's an opportunity here for Colin Malloy. He has space. Will he go for it? Send it into the centre. There's Whelan. Great defending. Whelan had the slip of trying to get it away, and the ball, the referee has given a free, and he's moving it in for dissent as well from Tipperary. But there was a real moment of opportunity here, but great defending by Ronan Maher.
There was, and I think, if you look, Conor Whelan gets the ball here. There is a left hand in tugging him, but he took a few steps when he got it. Great play by Colin Malloy. Tipperary's discipline in their backline has been very, very good. I know this is a free that'll be tapped over, but Galway, just hanging in there, Marty. It's a funny sort of game. Tip look at times imperious, but Galway settling into the game as it's gone on, and maybe just getting up to the pace of the game over the last 10 minutes or so.
Cathal Mannion scored 11 points in the Leinster final against Kilkenny, 7 of them from frees. He taps that over the bar, simple score for him. 11 points to 7, 23.5 minutes gone. Tipperary looked the sharper side, but as you say, Michael, they're hanging in Galway and they're doing fine. Keenan Fahey clearly under the watchful eye of the referee, Sean Stack, was fouling, and that's going to be a simple enough free, straight from the puck out. No real hard work done by either side to get a free there.
Yeah, and managers hate that, those soft frees, they kill you, like the bad wides. They're the two things, at the end of the day, if you can have your bad wides, have your soft frees, you can generally take 6 or 7 points off, or add on 6 or 7 points onto your tally. So this is a better one from McCarthy. Tip haven't scored a free yet since the start of the game. I think it's 10 from play and 1 line ball.
White flag will be raised. Tipperary fans will be happy. It's Darren McCarthy's first point in this All-Ireland quarter-final. All 3 in the full forward line for Tipperary have now scored. Better puck out from Derek Fahey. Sending it across over towards Conor Whelan. Struggling, trying to get there, but eventually getting there. Back out far as Sam O'Farrell. Under a little bit of pressure and going in the wrong direction, but it works out fine. Going long again. Galway have the possession, giving it back for Pádraig Mannion, and just skipping by Gavin Lee. Opportunity coming for Andrew Ormond, and that's straight between the posts and over the bar. Good score.
It is, but Pádraig Mannion, you know, he's normally probably the most reliable defender, brilliant on the ball. That's a couple of times he's been caught in possession and, you know, went and knocked that off the ground, intercepted again. And all of a sudden, two, you know, handy enough points, unforced errors by Galway really have handed Tip a 6-point lead.
Took out from Derek Fahig straight down the middle. Referee will give him the free as well, between the 45 and 65 metre line. Enjoying a very good championship season, Brian Concannon.
He is, Marty, and I think the Galway puck are working really well today. You know, they're picking that man into the wind in the half-forward line, winning lots of possession. I think they're going to go in at half-time, but there's 10 minutes to go, still thinking they could have got a goal or two in that first half. But they definitely need another couple of scores. They Tip are at their ease at the minute.
It's going to be taken by Colin Mannion, and really is no serious challenge to the man in the form that he's in. And as we've said all along, Galway stay in touch. Good work by Jake Morris. The referee has given Tipperary the free here. Gone across to have a word with substitute, one of them, and actually that's of course
Conor Cooney.
Conor Cooney that's going to get the yellow card.
Yeah, great catch by Jake Morris. It's the second man in here. If you watch him, he comes in. He just comes in and gives him a bit of a nudge. I think it's a very soft yellow card, to be fair to Conor Cooney.
Darragh McCarthy. That's his own unique style of taking the free. And usually it works. Steps away, the Tipperary crowd and the far over side are happy enough, and that's the second point of the game.
Yeah, he has his own style, but you know, it's a big call by Liam Cahill leaving him on the freeze when you have your Jason Forrest, John McGrath.
Derek Fahig straight out for his Conor Cooney. 50-50 ball in the view of the referee, not to give him the free, and they still, Galway, even though they're struggling there, they do their best. They actually have it as a result of sheer hard work. Bearing down by Tipperary, win the slither back. They come charging out, and that's going to be a free for Tipperary.
Yeah, Brian O'Mara robbed it there, coming back. The ball flicked up. He caught it going by. He's made a couple of big plays back there in the first half. He had a great block down earlier as well. And he's fouled there clearly on the way out.
Rhys Shelley goes long. Coming out to gather it was John McGrath. He's confident that from along the sideline that he can put that between the posts and over the bar for his third point of the game. Scored 4 goals and 9 points in the championship journey so far, and you can see why Liam Cahill is selecting him on the starting 15. He's producing the goods every time.
Yeah, class player, but he made that himself. Went up, knocked it down, brought it out off his left. He's having a great year again.
Ball was hit very strongly towards Gavin Lee, but he recovered it well. Sends it down the middle. Keenan Fahey laying it off. Conor Whelan having to work very, very hard. This time he's given a little bit of space. Given that ball by Darren Morrissey just a moment ago. And that ball is wide. 4th wide of the match for Galway. Well recovered. Sean Lennon under a little bit of pressure. Did well to control it. Down towards his midfield partner David Burke. He's still there with a little touch. Lovely stick work indeed. And the free is given to David Burke. I think he looked for it.
Well, it was all touches and flicks, but definitely watch. It went down very easily there, and you know, caught it the ref, I suppose, Marty, being a nice way of putting it, but a couple of lovely little flicks and touches, and sometimes when you're around a long time you get one like that.
It's going to be taken by Carl Mannion.
You're getting the sense they need this, you know, they've hit a couple of wides, they're just, the game hasn't got going, you know, it's a knockout championship match, it's lacking that little bit of intensity you'd expect, especially with Tip and Galway, the rivalry that they've developed over the last 40 years or so.
This one is just sneaking inside the post. It was close enough now. Carl Mannion, championship debutant against Westmeath back in 2012. Micheál Donoghue will be a little bit concerned about that scoreline, but if they can keep it at this with the wind to their backs in the second half, they might just be confident enough that they could produce the goods.
Yeah, look, Colin Malloy, Kevin Cooney, Brian Concannon haven't got a score yet, you know, and whereas all the Tip forwards have scored, and that's really the difference. So far, Carl Mannion's gone back a long way to take this, particularly into the wind, so he's definitely not going to go for it, I'd imagine. I think he's wasting a little bit of time here, to be totally honest with you.
He's probably, from a Galway perspective, dead right. Now, Carl Mannion, just outside his own 45-metre line. All-Star 2015. And in All-Star form, and it's only the middle of June.
Some strike.
It's going well against the breeze. Is it curling inside? Yes, it is. That's a great score.
That is. Genuinely didn't think he could score that, and he put it way over the bar into the breeze. That's a brilliant score. Maybe that'll get Galway going.
Now the crowd get behind Galway. Just a moment of silence as the game went through the motions. Good ball down for us, Jake Morris, and he responded with a point straight from Rhys Shelley's puck out. That's a good score.
And isn't that the way the game has been going? Like, that's too easy at this level. That's 3 for him, 2 for Andrew Ormond, and 1 for Sam O'Farrell in that half line, and 3 for John McGrath, and 4 from Jason Ford inside, all from play.
Ball into the centre, continued on for us, Gavin Lee. Conor Cooney back there helping out his defence. Nice ball. And that effort from Carl Mannion has just gone to the right and wide. First only mistake that he's made in this match so far. 6 points between the teams. Good puck out, good catch. Good work by Darragh McCarthy, seemed to pick up a knock as the ball was being delivered. And Liam Cahill is quite furious along the sideline over the late challenge on Darragh McCarthy. As Sean Lenan's name is going to be taken here, and a yellow card shown.
Yeah, I think that's good cooperation between the officials. We'll get a look at it here, but the referee didn't see it, which is fair enough, but his linesman came in, and watch McCarthy, little flick here, just a little slip down on the hand. It was accidental, I think, to be fair, but he did give him a nudge on the hand, and the linesman called the ref's attention to it, and McCarthy has a chance now to free.
It's a little bit of a row developing along the sideline here between the Galway and Tipperary management, as Darragh McCarthy sends that in and sends it to the left and wide. Well, we've passion on the field and we've passion along the sideline.
Yeah, no, Larkin, Micheál Donoghue not happy with the defence. Liam Cahill got that free for them, bought the free, so.
Breaking ball. Pulled on first time. Picked up by Sean Lenan, nephew of the great Sylvie Lenan. And Galway in attack mode. Kevin Cooney heading towards goal. Oh, what a save! Rhys Shelley diving to his immediate right and producing the save of the match so far. Absolutely brilliant, Rhys Shelley. Mike Harkey Barrett's favourite son at the moment, and he's producing the goods. He gets a clap on the back or on the head from Michael Breen subsequently.
It was a brilliant save, Marty, but I always say hit it off the ground, you know. It was a brilliant reaction. But what a move involving David Burke again, Ronan Glennon, Galway have looked dangerous in there at times, and that's a great save, and the game needed that. It needed something like that, but in fairness, very, very well worked move. Kevin Cooney has that pace going through the middle.
Cathal Mannion from the subsequent 65. And snap between the posts and over the bar. 11 points Galway, 16 points Tipperary. 1 minute of additional time going to be added on. Puck out from Rhys Shelley is every time seems to work for Tipperary. Down towards Andrew Ormond. Jake Morris. This time the ball is right and wide. The puck out strategy from Rhys Shelley is always coming down towards our position here, and it's working really well.
Yeah, I think both goalies' puck outs have been very, very good in the first half.
Puck out is aimed at Conor Cooney. It's Tipperary to come away with it. Looking for another score before the break, but that one is to the right and wide. Now we were on the 8th wide of the match for Tipperary. There's never been more than 1 or 2 points between these teams over the years. I know there's a gap at the moment, but one senses that the second half will be a right rip-roaring affair. It's survival of the championship at stake. Andrew Ormond flicking it forward. John McGrath. Darragh McCarthy. Nicely worked Tipperary, but Galway, when they slipped their back, they defended well, Galway, but it was probably potentially Tipperary's good move. But the Galway backs of Pádraig Mannion, Daithí Burke, and indeed Darren Morrissey, I think I might have called him Finton Burke actually earlier by mistake. Darren Morrissey have been a very good full backline because they have been under pressure.
Yeah, they've recovered, I think, reasonably well, but Tip have got their scores that bit easier. But in fairness, I think Galway will be happy enough only 5 points down, and they could have had that goal there. So it's a strange type of game. We saw Galway really turn it out against Kilkenny in the second half. That could be still in them, so all to play for still.
3 times they've been level in the first half, but here at the TUS Gaelic grounds in Limerick, this is the half-time scoreline. Galway 11 points, Tipperary 16. Good second half coming your way.
Lash of the ash. Not as fun when you're on the other side of the hurley, let me tell you.
Where there's hurling, there's Centra.
Thanks to your giving, the RTE Toy Show Appeal has now raised over €26 million for Irish charities. That means over 1 million children and their families will have their lives changed for good. 169 children's charities across every county on the island will receive funding, helping them put more smiles on more faces. RTE Toy Show Appeal. Let kids be kids.
Oh, check you out being all healthy.
So scandalous. What? Hot stuff, head to toe. Where you go, no one knows. You smile, then it don't.
Ryan.
Muller Lite. Get the good going.
We're serving up summer at Dunnes Stores with a refreshing range of ice pops and cones. Keep cool with our new selection of multi-packs, like classic mini rainbows made with natural fruit flavours, strawberry and lemon ice bars, vanilla and candy ice cream cones, tropical ice pops filled with creamy vanilla ice cream, and much more. Plus, you can save at the till with a 5 of 25 grocery voucher. Dunnes Stores. Always better value.
McDonald's patties are made from whole cuts of beef, sourced from farms across Ireland, with a pinch of salt and pepper, nothing else.
You might think you know Ireland's hidden heartlands, but maybe it's time for a closer look to chart your own course through sparkling still waters, where adventure waits amongst the treetops, and on foot over ancient trails, to chance upon charming towns and drift with the flow of this land. Keep discovering Ireland's hidden heartlands.
Earn as you go with our PTSB Explore Current account. With a banking experience that means more for you. You can earn up to €5 a month as you pay with your card, up to 5% cashback when you pay bills with our partners, and 2% cashback on monthly PTSB mortgage repayments until 2030 when you pay from an Explore Current account. Apply in-app and start earning today. PTSB, altogether more human.
The Harvey Norman Big Sale is now on, with big deals on Whirlpool laundry appliances. Save €50 on the Whirlpool 10kg Supreme Silence washing machine, designed to deliver powerful cleaning with whisper quiet performance. Now $849. Pair with the energy-efficient Whirlpool 9kg heat pump tumble dryer, with clever sensors and a handy steam refresh cycle to reduce creases. Takes the hassle out of laundry day. Now $799. And with our best price guarantee. Why shop anywhere else? But hurry, the Harvey Norman Big Sale must end soon.
Go!
Sure Whole Body Deodorant. All day odour protection. Sure, it won't let you down.
Ayr, proud sponsors of the GAA Hurling All-Ireland Senior Championship.
After the drama and epic performance from Dublin and Croke Park, it's all been a little bit flat in Limerick at the moment. Galway trailing at half-time against Tipperary, 16 points to 11, but they were playing against the wind in that first half. But having said that, they will not be pleased with some of the stats, including the fact that Tipperary have scored 7 points from turning Galway over, and Galway are only 33% scoring chances converted from play. John, it's very disappointing after what we witnessed earlier on. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I suppose there's a lot at stake here. I suppose I often found when you're playing these games that one, like it's kind of Munster versus Leinster. Two, that you're kind of so close to getting to Croke Park, to play in an All-Ireland semi-final. There's such a prize there, and especially I suppose after hearing the result earlier on, there is a massive card at the end. But look, I don't know. We need more from the teams, and but look, Galway are still only 5 points down, so with a win behind them, so yeah, a lot to play for.
See, that is all very true. It feels like Tip are so much more on top, especially given that all of their forward line had scored so early, but particularly the influence of Jason Ford.
Yeah, Jason Ford and all their forwards, in fairness, the movement has been really good from them. From an earlier, from puck outs and general play, they're popping up everywhere. Jason Ford is in corner forward sometimes, he's out in the wing, he's out in centre forward. Jake Morris is moving around, John McGrath's moving around, but it's just the marking. That's Brian Concannon having to try and track Jason Ford, who's playing wing forward. So here again, puck out, and brilliant, just came in behind, knocked it down. John McGrath stood up, but the Tipperary team has scored 13 points from play. Galway has scored 4 from play. The scores are coming a lot easier, it seems. And here again, he's just peeling off, and it's brilliant striking. All their striking is crisp passing, it's to hand, they're not dropping anything, whereas the other side, we'll see in a minute, Galway just aren't at the races with just their passes. It's just letting them down a little bit.
Because they have got through that Tipperary defence at times, have they not?
Absolutely, Joanne, and we spoke about beforehand the importance of getting goals, and they have had a number of chances. As Joe said, the difference has been just that last bit of top class. We see here Conor Whelan, that was a brilliant move by him. He was very generous the way he passed it, but Brian Concannon's finish is poor there. We're expecting to see him hit the
just
target.
Behind him,
hit the target from that point of view. Here again, same thing. Galway, just that pass letting them down. There was a 2v1 chance if that was turned around there. Here, I do think that they were unlucky. This is a debatable enough decision in terms of was the ball beyond what the free was given out for. It was definitely given for a free for Conor Whelan, and the referee Sean Stack had put up his hand early, but was debatable enough. Then Malloy, we were talking about it here, should he have went for his own shot or not? I don't think so, because of the angle that he was at. But again, they'll be just disappointed, given where they were coming from, that they didn't score. Maybe the one beyond again was on there, but it was definitely another chance. And here we see again, good play, good support, really good fast hands. great chance coming up here for Kevin Cooney. Like, it was a great save, right? A very good save. But as a keeper, I have to say it, like, they're the ones you'd be very disappointed. I bet you Cooney did try and top spin that, right? I bet you did, looking at the angle he was trying to hit it. But there's two ways going at a keeper. When you're close enough, you try and blow the head off him if you're going for power. Other than that, especially from a distance, especially with that type of surface, odds are better when you strike the ball along the ground.
Yeah, it is. He should have hit the ground. If he hit the ground, it's a better chance. And the conditions are a little bit slippy here, in fairness to them. You saw a lot of guys losing their footing early on. They probably weren't expecting a bit of rain, I don't know, but...
And it was heavy as well,
it was heavy.
or so ago.
It was heavy, because the ground is rock hard. So when that ball, and even on your footing and stuff like that, you can lose. And as going back to John's point, quarter-final, guys are a little bit more nervous because it's a kind of a... You know, you're not at the semi-final where you have one shot, get to a final. Quarter-final is a little bit more nervy.
But Joanne, a bit like, you know, we were talking about having John there talking about the centre-back. Like, we've one of the greatest forwards ever to play the game here in Joe. But how many times do you...
I always talk about hitting it low, but I always hit it high.
I know, but why is that? Because it's easy to talk. I even find it myself.
You see your name in lights, don't you? Top corner job, I don't know.
Yeah. OK, well, Galway may have been outplayed in that opening half, but they are only 5 points behind with the breeze to come. Don't forget, it is Cork, Kilkenny and Dublin already in the semi-finals.
It's all heating up now.
Oh, it is, yeah.
When 23-year-old Elizabeth Plunkett is kidnapped in Bridas Bay, 2 men confess to her murder. But despite this, no one is ever convicted. How could this happen? Stolen Sister. Listen on RT Radio Player and wherever you get your podcasts.
There's a new icon in town. The Big Arch for big McDonald's hunger.
I always said it wouldn't change me. And it hasn't. Winning the lotto was amazing. But you can never forget who you are. The values you have don't just disappear.
William, do you want anything from the shop?
Yeah, well, it was 7 million. Got to share the love, don't you?
The National Lottery. It could be you.
Grab half-price broadband in the Virgin Media Playhouse. For this month only, all our broadband speeds are half price. That's lightning fast connection from just €35 a month, locked in for 12 months with no activation fee. Why wait? Enjoy speeds from 500 megs to 5 gigs right now, all for half price. Available nationwide. See virginmedia.ie. Virgin Media. It's playtime.
It's 252 time at Hyundai dealerships nationwide. Featuring the all-new 7-seater Santa Fe, Women's World Car of the Year 2025. And discover why Ireland loves the best-selling Tucson and award-winning Kona. It's 252 time at Hyundai. See more at Hyundai.ie.
We are family.
All right,
team. We've got less than 4 minutes before she gets her car insurance quotes. Brendan, you're up for the web chat if she wants assistance.
I wonder what kind of car she's going to get.
Focus, Brendan, focus. Brent, it's for you.
On it.
RedClick, insurance that just clicks. Save an average of €245 when you quote online.
What did you do?
Did you do this on purpose? Do you even care about what I want?
Because she's trying to push your buttons, hon. Why do you keep on taking the bait?
Little Fires Everywhere. Streaming now on RTE Player.
I'm just trying to raise nice children.
Lash of the ash. Not as fun when you're on the other side of the hurley, let me tell you.
Where there's hurling, there's Centra.
Tomorrow's Sunday Game Live comes from Croke Park. Both this year's Tailteann Cup semi-finals should be tight and probably high scoring as well. 4 teams looking to move to within 1 win of guaranteeing Sam Maguire football for next year. Limerick, Wicklow, Fermanagh and Kildare. And going back to speaking of high scoring, Sligo captain Niall Murphy, he's one of those. He's on our panel tomorrow along with Roscommon boss Davy Burke from 1:30 on RT2. And Jackie will be back with all the Sunday highlights, including the remaining football quarterfinals. But we still have the second half to come here from the Gaelic grounds. It is Tipperary against Galway in this All-Ireland hurling quarter-final. Limerick already beaten by Dublin in Croke Park. Tip are on top. They've been playing with the breeze. They seem to get quite a bit of joy out of their own puckouts, but I wonder how much of that was down to them and much of it was down to Galway.
Yeah, look, they've been creating massive space in front of their forwards, and I think they won 12 out of 16 puckouts. I think 9 out of 13 of their long puckouts, which is, you know, a massive stat at half time. So, like, you know, they've got 6 points from those puckouts, and it just shows you from the array of scores from all their forwards that, you know, they're moving really well and as a full unit. So, yeah, look, it's been a massive outlet for them throughout the first half, and I suppose it's something that they'll try and target in the second half. Now, a lot of it has come down from maybe Galway's passive. You know, they've been a bit passive in their defending, so maybe they need to get a bit tighter and more aggressive on that puck out.
They appear to have quite a bit of improvement to doing, but given the fact that they have, as we look at the Tipperary puck-out map, given the fact that Galway have had issues all over the place but have been creating goal chances and surely can tighten up in the areas that John was just talking about.
Yeah,
like, there is that room.
It is a little bit funny. You're talking about, like, maybe Galway aren't as good, but at the end of the day they're creating chances, but just that final pass isn't clicking. And if that, we've seen it earlier on with Limerick, they're passing and let them down at stages, and then it's very hard to get a bit of momentum. So if Galway can get 1 or 2 of those passes going into for goals clicking, you never know what might happen.
They've been really good in staying in there, though.
Yeah.
Like, you know, with that wind that's there now, you'd settle for that. If you said at the start of that playing against it, you'd say 5 points down at half time. They've done really well from place balls. 7 out of 7, 100%. Very impressive. Keeping you in the game. How critical that is. It's 33% from their shooting from general play. That's where the gap is.
So in many ways I wonder, is it Tip who are going to be then the frustrated team, given that they were so much on top? Peter McGarry was a bit of a surprise starter today. He's actually now been taken off. Dara Stakelum is coming on in the second half.
Okay, yeah, it's a big change. I suppose the ball was kind of bypassing midfield, and I think the Galway kind of midfielders were kind of setting up for the puck out wide, so it was kind of taking them out in the game for a lot of it. But yeah, look, that's an interesting move, and yeah, it's all to do. It's all there for both teams now, and I suppose that win may have a big factor in the second half.
To that point, sometimes the halves, when you're playing those halves, they replicate each other. It'll be interesting to see if Tip get a similar type of chance that Galway were getting against the wind, because everybody's drawing up. There's a gap there, and it wouldn't surprise me if the same opportunities appeared for Tip, and we'll see will that more clinical ability that they appear to have be a difference between both teams.
I see Joe Canning having a look at the Galway players out there. Are you wondering?
TJ Brennan looks to be on for Sean Lennon, maybe.
You've got it bang on. TJ Brennan for Sean Lennon is exactly right.
So yeah, it's a straight enough swap. There should be no issues there, but yeah, Galway need to get a start. They need to get a start, and not necessarily. And like Don Logue is saying, if they get drawn out too far, it'll create chances. So they need to keep it a small pitch up this side where they're defending, and keep loads of bodies back and leave the space up in their forwards and play the wings. There's too much going through the centre where the likes of Connolly, the likes of Breen and Doyle, they're just mopping up the physicality. Play it down into the corners. I mean, that's where we're getting a bit of joy.
And start maybe taking their points a little bit more instead of going for goal all the time, do you think?
Yeah, but look, I suppose it was hard in the first half, They had those opportunities, but just with the wind, or against the wind, they were struggling. So, but they have it at their backs on. It should be their advantage in the second half.
As you can see, Tipperary are coming out to join Galway on the field for this second half. Let's see if it can get a bit livelier for the next 35 minutes as we go back to Michael and Marty.
We certainly hope so, Joanne. The crowd here, 15,414, will be expecting a sparkling second half. And as you mentioned, Dara Stakelum is coming on for Peter McGarry. That's the number 25 there. And he's going to start in midfield with Willie Connors. And TJ Brennan is in instead of Sean Lenard. But Galway now will have wind advantage. So can they maximise it as they play from left to right and immediately go into the attack? Coming back outside towards Ronan Glennon. Ronan sending in a shot which is gone to the left of the goalpost and wide. Just for your information, Galway have now registered 6 wides in this match. They need to make better use of the ball in this second half when they have the wind to their backs as they're slipping and sliding. That was the cost of the heavy rain, and the Galway player is still down injured. Tipperary snap up the loose ball, drop this in and send it to the right of the goalpost and wide as we look at it. So disappointment for Sam O'Farrell.
Yeah, and Marty just mentioned it, like it's a little bit of a challenge match feel. It's a knockout championship game. There's 35 minutes, you're gone. The work these lads put in, you'd like to see that replicated now on the pitch, the training they do, the effort they put in, and just the slip here from Ronan Glennon, and sometimes you can jar a knee or whatever. You can see he tried to get it away, but he had a shot there from the wing, wasn't really on, probably should have played it inside. Joe said it just before, play the ball into full forward. Like Colin Malloy is very lively, Kevin Cooney is lively, but they're not getting enough ball. And again, there's Sam O'Farrell into the wind, a little bit of a pot shot as well and went wide. So just need to see just up the intensity and up the decision making.
So Ronan Glennon, I don't know whether that's a temporary or permanent arrangement to go off the field. He'll have to come in around the midfield line again as Conor Cooney just gets a touch and he actually knocked it away from his own colleague by accident. And Tipperary snap up the loose ball as they come forward now, go into the attack for the second time of this second half. Great work by Darren Morrissey, just getting a little touch. Snapping up the loose ball is Jake Morris. Darren Morrissey in pursuit. Jake Morris hits it with speed and accuracy between the post and over the bar for yet another point. 3 in the first half, now got his 4th point.
Yeah, that's class. He's been on fire the last couple of years for Tipperary, but just that power. Look at him. Like remember, he was a very skinny young player when he came on the scene, but look at the power he's developed there. And little mistake there again by Cian O'Fahey. Few players slipping. That's the result, as you've said, on the dropper in we had earlier. Good dropper in.
Good to see Ronan Glennon coming back on, and it's Galway in the attack as Colin Malloy sends that in, but by the body language that's gone to the right and wide, but the referee is giving the advantage anyway, so it's going to be a free for Galway. And it is, as you say, Michael, like a challenge match, particularly when we were spoiled with that incredible game between Dublin and Limerick.
Yeah, what a game, and you have to say Dublin well worth their win. Limerick have been absolutely, as we all know, outstanding champions for so long, but Dublin were brilliant with a man sent off after 15 minutes, Chris Crummy, and then to play the whole game and to play the way they did, they were fantastic and caused a massive shock, maybe one of the biggest shocks ever, I'd say, in the hurling championship.
Carl Mannion scored 9 points in the first half, 6 of them from frees. One was from a 65. Yeah. And he taps that over for his 10th point of the game. So now, 5 points between them again. Long way to go. And as we saw in Croke Park, anything could happen. It's the survival of the fittest right now. Who'll be in the All-Ireland semi-final? Will it be Galway or Tipperary? We expect to see a more passionate affair than what we did in the first half. Conor Whelan, Michael Breen with him, still getting the hurling in, still Conor Whelan. Giving it back outside, far as David Burke. David Burke dropping it in. With Tipperary coming away with it with Brian O'Mara. Holy Cross, Ballycahill. Conor Cooney, you can see the effect of that heavy rain earlier. Conor Cooney goes long over towards Malloy. Stumbling to get inside, but he's got inside. He's got inside the 30-metre line. What's he going to do? And he hits the back of the Tipperary net. Colin Malloy from a very difficult angle. He got inside the cover here. The Tipperary defender slipped. That gave him the run. And Malloy from Kilnadine and Leitrim hit the slither. An absolute rasper. That's Rhys Skelly.
It's a brilliant finish. That's what I was saying before half-time. Kevin Cooney's chance. Hit it off the ground. That ground is slippy. Look at this for a finish. This guy has won nearly every ball that's come his way. What a catch by Andrew Ormond here now up the other end.
Response from Tipperary is on its way. It curls into the breeze and the white flag will be raised. And already we've a little bit more to enjoy in this second half of this second All-Ireland quarter-final between Tipperary and Galway.
Yeah, and again needed that. A brilliant injection there of pace from Malloy, then Ormond with a great response. That's his third from play.
3 points between the teams. Away comes Brian O'Mara into the centre. He heard the call and duly delivered. But Galway should have the situation under control here. Torg Mannion comes out. Goalkeeper Derek Fahy was available. Instead he uses Keenan Fahy, who has the time to look around. Send it up towards the goal scorer. And the hero at the moment, Colin Malloy. Galway have the possession. And the reaction from Kevin Cooney said it all. Ball was wrong side of the post and wide.
Yeah, they need to be nailing those again. Malloy, he's using his body. He's not the biggest man, but his movement is giving Galway all sorts of options. Up there, he's causing lots of trouble for the Galway or the Tip full back line. Robert Doyle is marking him, and he's been very good, but he's under a bit of pressure with him.
Pass inside. It's a good one. As Tipperary head towards goal, they lay it off. Advantage being given. The shot blocked, and there's going to be a free. Referee had his arm clearly outstretched, and that's going to be a free in for Tipperary.
Yeah, it's Andrew Ormond again. You can just see it's just a little tangle of legs. There's nothing malicious in it. But Andrew Ormond and Jake Morris, 7 from play between them out there. Sam O'Farrell's got 1 as well. They have been hugely influential for Tipperary.
Scored twice in the first half, Darragh McCarthy, both of them from frees. This to stretch Tipperary's lead. 19 points to 112 now.
Yeah, and good response from Tip. 2 good points since. Obviously, Kevin Cooney should have knocked one over the far end, but a much better second half now.
Took out Paris, TJ Brennan in for the second half. Facing Sean Nonan as the ball is dropped in from out the field. The goalkeeper is coming off. Derek Pye calls for it. Good hands by the Ardvahan keeper. Sending it down the wing towards David Burke. Doing well to keep it in. Pulls it first time down towards Conor Whelan. Oh, lovely little pickup. Slipping and sliding again as they've been doing due to the heavy showers we had earlier. And that ball again has gone to the right and wide. And it's a time of the match, Michael, when Galway need to take advantage of Colin Malloy's goal, but it's Tipperary that's responding.
Exactly, and the wides are going to kill them. They're soft wides with that win behind you. David will be disappointed with that one.
Keenan Fahy did well. Sending it down the wing. Nicely picked up by Cathal Mannion. Ball inside towards Darren Morrissey, who'd gone forward, putting the pressure on. Corner back, not too sure what he's doing up there, but Darren Morrissey is up there to his great credit. Dara Stakelum goes long. Dahi Burke showed a little bit too much perhaps there to Darragh McCarthy. Ray McManus better get out of the way. One of our best photographers in the country is right there with his umbrella, capturing the moment up close.
It must have been fairly frightening to see Dahi Burke coming at full pelt. Yeah, he did very well there, Dahi Burke. Just got a nudge out over the line himself from Torg Mannion.
Derek Fahy going to take this. There you can see there's a push on the back, clearly on Dahi Burke. Derek Fahy with the free. Dropping it up towards Conor Whelan. Batting it down. And that is sent again to the wrong side of the post off the stick of Conor Cooney.
Yeah, and they're all wide on the right side as we look down. The wind is obviously blown that way. Left post, lads, put it over. That's 3 very poor wides in a row.
Second half possession so far, you can see at the top of your screen, Galway with now 62%. It's only slightly reflected on the scoreboard because they haven't continued the momentum that they would have gotten from the goal from Colin Malloy. Good work by Sam O'Farrell. Thomas Walsh, the linesman, indicates that it's going to be a sideline ball for Galway. Derek Fahy makes himself available. Sends it down the wing. First touch here is important, and it's well achieved by Kevin Cooney. Nice ball inside to Keenan Fahy, heading towards the 20-metre line. The hook was good. He sends it wide, and the Tipperary crowd get behind our team here.
Well, it's because of Owen Connolly. He was way behind. He's a work rate. Watch the ground he made up here. Look at this. And he got in the little hook. That's great work. And Keenan Fahy should have stuck it over the bar. That's 5 wides for Galway in the second half, 4 in a row since they got the goal, and they're going to be so disappointed with that.
Great defending by Tipperary. Coming across is Michael Breen. Solid as a rock at left corner back. 3 Galway players have the situation under control, or they should have. Dahi Burke moving it back for David Burke. Back helping out his defence. This is a ball that was intended for Keenan Fahy. Tipperary send it high, and Tipperary forwards, I can see from here, are giving out to their midfielders. Let the ball in.
Well, that's 2 Willie Connors has at half time. One he lobbed in, the goalie caught it. That one wide with John McGrath 20 yards of space. The Galway defenders have got all over the tip forwards in the second half here, but Galway aren't taking their chances in the other end. That's the story of the second half.
Carl Mannion didn't control it, so it's going to be a sideline ball for Tipperary. Intended recipient is Dara Stakelum, and that is just sneaking inside the post and over the bar. The hook just didn't quite come off. It was centimetres away. But a good score.
Yeah, you're quick thinking again. Good line ball, good movement from Dara off the ball into space, and he just shortened up the grip and tipped it over the bar.
Took out down for us Conor Whelan. Sideline ball going to Tipperary. Tipperary are going to make a substitution. Huge response from the Tipperary people when they see Noel McGrath coming on. It looks like he's going to be replacing the brother John, who really played well, scoring 3 points in the first half and creating many more. I think by the nudge of the head there that John is disappointed.
No, he didn't. I'd be disappointed if I was him. He didn't get any ball in the second half in there. I mentioned Willie Connors hitting a couple of balls wide from out the field or into the goalie. They should have been played into him, so he's not going to be happy. He was on fire when he was getting possession.
He really was, with Jason Ford between them, scored 8 points in the first half, and indeed John McGrath created some of those scores for Jason Ford, so I am surprised he's taken off.
Yeah, I think there's going to look for, just commented before that Galway defenders have got well on top. I see Jake Morris has gone inside now to try to use his pace because Dahi Burke in particular and Pádraig Mannion have been very, very influential. Noel McGrath will go out around the middle of the field half forward.
Been 9 minutes since Galway got the goal. They haven't continued on that momentum, with lots of shots going to the left and right of the posts. Gavin Lee has the confidence to go forward. Between the 45 and 65, Ronan Glennon has a pop. And again, the result is the same. Number of wides are now increasing to 11 for Galway. As I said a moment ago, Galway haven't scored since the goal 9.5 minutes ago. As that ball drops in, and that ball from Tipperary is also wide.
Yeah, it's sucking the life out of the game again, as we often say, doing the commentary here. bad wise mistakes. Look at this, unforced errors. Like, Galway are going to be saying to themselves, they got a goal, brought them right back into this game, and for the last 10 minutes then we've looked at what we've looked at, which is wide after wide, mistake after mistake, and it's not that Tip have done anything really special to drive away from them.
Tom Monaghan is on for Galway. Player that's going off is David Burke. And he will go in around the midfield area. Another player who I have to say has been playing well in the championship up to now. A little bit surprised he didn't start. Jason Ford. One sideline in the first half. One sideline in the second half.
And that is just...
Can it be class?
It's class. I was just going to say, Marty, the same word. That is brilliant. He hasn't felt the weight of the ball in the second half, again, because it hasn't been played into him. But that's just brilliant.
Puck out from Derek Fahey. Easily read, easily anticipated, and sent back by Andrew Ormond. It's a giveaway from Galway to their neighbours, Tipperary. Such an easy giveaway, and Derek Fahey there, the body language said it all. And now Tipperary have the momentum. Going forward is Jake Morris, one thing on his mind. Oh, great save. The rebound is there and he's saved again. Derek Fahey, outstanding goalkeeping. Just when Tipperary felt that they had the momentum. Can that surely inspire Galway now? Breaking ball comes for Willie Connors from Killadangan. He's going for the score, and that is flying between the posts and over the bar. It's his first in this All-Ireland quarter-final. He's working hard. Sometimes his distribution might be the best, but you have to say his passion and his hurling skill, there is no doubt.
Yeah, and look, Willie All is forgiven, but that one was on. He was on the front foot. But look at this. Jake Morris straight through the middle. A rocket of a shot. What a save. Going to kick it in. Did he pick it off the ground here? I don't know. I'd say he did. But Dara Stakelin went to just kick it in. Two brilliant saves there by Derek Fahey. That keeps Galway maybe slightly in it, but Tip have just upped the ante there in the last couple of minutes. And we talked about that change, moving Morris in there with his pace. He's caused havoc since he's gone in there. And Andrew Ormond, Marty, he creates such an option with them short puckouts. His movement is so good left and right from the number 11 position. He's cut out 4 or 5 puckouts since the start of the game. He scored 4 from play. He's been outstanding as well.
Swap between the All-Ireland under-20 medalist, Darren McCarthy, making way for Oisin O'Donoghue, who was outstanding in that All-Ireland final a few weeks ago. Away comes Brian O'Mara, being pursued by Cathal Mannion. And Brian O'Mara, again, registers another wide for Tipperary, who are increasing their wides tally now to 12. One more than Galway. Galway won 12, Tipperary 23 points. And really, Galway haven't gained any advantage from Conor Loy's goal, which usually lifts the spirits. Perhaps Tom Monaghan can do something here. He hits it well, and he hits it inside the post and over the bar. Good score.
Yeah, that's what Tom Monaghan brings. He's always very accurate. Like yourself, Marty, I felt, a strange move, maybe leaving him off, but he tapped that over.
Puck out comes straight into the middle of the field, and this is going to happen again for Tipperary. They do the simple things well. Dara Stakelum straight from the puck out from Reece Shelley, and that's over the bar.
And he's made a massive impact. He got the 2 points, could have got a goal as well. Here's Ormond again, putting the pressure on the puck out.
Ball comes out for Keenan Fahey, stepping away from the challenge. Still Fahey, flicking it forward. 50-50 ball won on this occasion. That's the hard-working Declan McLaughlin who's just been introduced. He always gives 100%, but ultimately, ball is wide again from a Galway perspective. Reece Shelley goes short this time. The wind is still present, but perhaps not as strong as it was in the first half, I have to say. Dahi Burke to Pádraig Mannion. Needs the goalkeeper, who in turn gives it to TJ Brennan. It scored 6 points in the Leinster Championship campaign. And this was the sort of performance that you'd expect as TJ goes forward. Conor Whelan working hard to retain the possession back outside. Giving it again to Tom Monaghan, and this one is dropping, just taking the paint off the crossbar almost. But that's 2 good scores by Tom Monaghan.
Absolutely. He could have a third. He had a wide as well there a minute ago. Just the game has been the same sort of pattern. Tipperary just playing in spurts, playing really, really well, then opting out for a couple of minutes, maybe giving Galway a few chances. But the wides, I suppose, have killed both sides' momentum at different stages.
Great work by Owen Connolly. Had that hook earlier, which got a warm, rapturous applause from the Tipperary supporters. Craig Morgan from Kilruan McDonough, North Tipperary, sending it long. Sideline ball, Galway. Good pressure by Darren Morrissey, literally sticking to marking Jason Ford, giving Ford no chance. Hall Donoghue will be expecting in the next 16 minutes a little bit more from his team. But the ball bypasses midfield, nobody gets a touch, and that's going to be Tipperary ball.
Yeah, and we've seen Jason Ford scoring too, but I don't think anybody in the game hits the line balls as far as this man, Ronan Maher, coming out from centre back to take this.
All-Ireland minor medalist back in 2012. 29 years of age. Won 2 All-Stars back in 2016 and 19. Good hands, Andrew Ormond. And a dangerous enough ball. Good working. Oisin O'Donoghue flicking it back outside towards Noel McGrath. And that is looking good. He still has the magic.
Yeah, and Oisin O'Donoghue, who did really well. You know, another brilliant under-20 player this year. Great vision again for a young man. Picked out Noel McGrath over the bar. Simple stuff.
Here comes an opportunity for Galway. They need another goal perhaps at this stage. Good defending by Tipperary. And they go long. Good hands. Jake Morris cutting inside and scoring a beauty. It's his 5th point of the game.
Yeah,
certainly since he moved out to the forward line, to the half-forward line, I think it's like a breath of fresh air through his lungs. He seems to be playing much better.
Yeah, but that movement, you know, in there, to move him in and take off John McGrath, we may be saying John was unlucky, but since Jake Morris has gone in there, Tip have fed him and he scored a couple of great points and created a great goal chance as well.
At least they have those options. Tipperary winning the 50-50 ball. Again, a race for possession. Dahi Burke giving it back. Spreading it wide is Pádraig Mannion. And away goes Brian Concannon. Cutting inside and sending this again wrong side of the post. Frustration coming in to this Galway team at the moment. There's a bit of afters between Willie Connors and Brian Concannon. And Galway do their best to change their forward line. This is Tiernan Killeen. Wing forward from Loughrea normally, just in his early 20s. And Kevin Cooney is the player that's making way. Reece Shelley. Going long. Oh, Jake Morris. Man is on fire. This time he sends it to the wrong side of the post and wide. They definitely have the forwards, don't they, Michael? And they have the options.
Yeah, but like the scores from play, I was just looking at there, Marty. 5 from Morris, 4 from Ormond, 4 from Ford, 3 from McGrath. You know, that's savage shooting from play.
Tiernan Killeen turned towards Colin Malloy, but Tipperary have the situation under control. Reece Shelley. Coolness personified between the posts. Over fires Willie Connors. Great crossfield ball over towards Noel McGrath. That's beautiful hurling from one side of the pitch to the other. Opportunity coming to Tipperary. Fantastic goal. It was beautifully created. And Oisin O'Donoghue from Cashel-Kilcormac scored 1-1 against Waterford in the Munster Championship, just introduced. But it was the diagonal ball, it was the vision, it was the composure, it was the balance and the skill, ultimately, from Oisin O'Donoghue that capped off a real Tipperary team goal.
Yeah, but what a ball, Willie Connors to Noel McGrath. But that's why Noel McGrath, we might never have another Noel McGrath, with the vision he has, with the skill he has. Anybody else would have tapped that over the bar. He come on as a sub, I get another point. I look good on the scoreboard. No, picked out the young man who buried it in the corner of the net.
Conor Stakelum, the other one of the Stakelum brothers, is coming on for Sam O'Farrell, and the referee Sean Stack is going to
the look of innocence,
trying to have a word with Willie Connors.
He didn't book him.
Just getting a severe talking to.
But I was watching Noel McGrath off the ball there, Marty, in front of us here before that was played to him. He made a 30-yard run. He was calling for the ball, and Conor saw him, and it's just class.
Cathal Mannion going for his 11th point of the game. And that has now been achieved. Just when I was thinking that Tipperary goal, the beautiful ball that was played around, I have to say that thinking of a woman in Tipperary town, Berry Meskel, who's 89 years of age, celebrated her birthday, and she loves Tipperary hurling.
Congratulations.
So that'll make her birthday. So happy birthday, Berry. As the ball dribbles out over the sideline, and that's going to be sideline ball for Galway. Well gathered by Brian Concannon. Gone inside, Cathal Mannion. One thing on his mind, has to be a goal here now. There's another opportunity in Tipperary there in their numbers to deal with the threat momentarily. Well won by Keenan Fahy. Got there ahead of Noel McGrath. Galway know they have to get goals here. There's a high challenge there. The referee has blown his whistle and given a free in for the foul on Cathal Mannion.
Yeah, credit Cathal Mannion. You know, he's never stopped fighting, looking for the gap there. Obviously, he wasn't going to be let through there. It was Conor Stakelum who pulled him back. He's going to get a card, I think, is he? His brother Dara has made a big impact since half-time in the middle of the field as well.
Yellow card there for Conor Stakelum. Referee has blown his whistle.
Yeah, Cathal Mannion scooped the ball to him, but he was too close to him anyway. You can take a quick one, but he was too close to him. I'd say that's the problem there. The goalie gave him a clip as well.
Ryan Concannon felt the pain as well, and the heartbreak. Rhys Shelley gives him a tap on the back there, say hard luck.
Quick thinking by Cathal Mannion, but just too close.
Ball anticipated and intercepted rather well by TJ Brennan. Lays it off quickly to Cathal Mannion. Keenan Fahy. Good ball, actually. Could work out well. And that is gone again. Disappointingly, from a Galway perspective, left and wide.
Goal, lads.
Declan McLaughlin, very disappointed. 8 minutes to go. Looks like the end of the journey in the championship for Micheál Donoghue and his team, and they'll be disappointed with the overall performances if this is going to be their lot. But let's see what happens. It's not over until that full-time whistle blows, and Conor Whelan under a little bit of pressure. Has to lay it back first. Tom Monaghan got his fingertips to it. Now ball in hand. Back first TJ Brennan. Two Tipperary forwards converging on him. He goes long up towards Cathal Mannion. And perhaps Colin Malloy can do it again. Not that way. That way is blocked. Back out first Cathal Mannion. Advantage being given to Galway. And since nothing was happening, there's going to be a free in for Galway.
Yeah, and probably have a blast at it this time. You know, they're working away, but they don't really, like Tip are just going to keep doing that. I'm surprised the ref hasn't given a card just for persistent fouling. It's cynical. But Colin he's going to have a go at this one.
Scored 11 points. Cathal Mannion focusing, thinking about going for it. Sends it low. Stopped by Rhys Shelley rather easily. And clears his lines. Ball runs on. Noel McGrath's available. Floating it in high. Dropping it in. Goalkeeper Derek Fahy will deal with it. There's nobody immediately down that wing. There is now with Tiernan Killeen. Crossfield ball is aimed at TJ Brennan. Tom Monaghan. Under pressure again. Good work. Leaves it behind him, however. Dara Stakelum lays it back, and Tipperary will build again. Little jersey pull by Pádraig Mannion. Spotted by the referee. Paddy get away with it. It's just a little pull back there on Jason Ford, which was seen by all.
Yeah, well spotted. Galway playing around with the ball out the field. I think maybe the lack of a target man inside at the edge of the square, it's someone they don't have. We saw Dublin earlier on, Ronan Hayes, then they had John Heatherton, big men that you can change your game and you can go long, but they just didn't have that.
Jason Ford going to take this. Had an outstanding opening half. Quieter in the second period. But despite the lack of action on the ball, he still hasn't lost his free-taking touch. And that's increasing Tipperary's lead again. 30 points to 18, or 127 to 115. Seamus Kennedy is coming on. And the player that's going off is Willie Connors. Rory Burke from Ormore Marie is also coming on. Puck out from Derek Fahy. Noel McGrath waited patiently for it. Batted down by Keenan Fahy. And Noel McGrath's there again. Seeing a little bit of space. Thought about driving it in. Gives it to Andrew Ormond. Derek Fahy comes off his goal line, but is dealt with quite capably. Galway still find themselves under pressure. Full marks to Darren Morrissey, who took control of that ball going in. Pulled on first time. Noel McGrath again has the vision. Brian O'Mara from out the field sends it well wide. 4 minutes or thereabouts to go in this match. And if it stands, now that Dublin and Tipperary look like they're going to win here, it's going to be Cork against Dublin, Kilkenny against Tipperary in the semi-finals. Let's see what happens. Still waiting for the 70th minute plus. Andrew Ormond still battling hard inside there. Conor Stakelum is in there. Conor Whelan. Remember, Conor Whelan is in his own half back line. We saw him do this against Kilkenny in the Leinster final. You feel that he's needed up where the ball is now going. Colin Malloy scored Galway's goal. They didn't really capitalise on it. Crossfield balled over to TJ Brennan. Shimmy to the right. Trying to get into the left, trying to pull the trigger. Stopped again. And out for 65. They're trying everything, Galway.
Yeah, the TJ Brennan worked well there. Worked the opportunity for the shot. See Ronan Maher there. Got a half block to it, and then
TJ Brennan has added a lot of purpose since being introduced. Good block here. Declan McLaughlin was at the end of it. It was deflected out for a 65.
Robert Doyle, very brave there actually. Dropped his head down in front of him.
Galway just lacked that creativity and precision and incisiveness up front, don't they, Michael?
Yeah, it was really after they got the goal, Mark. That's where the game was won and lost. They had 5 wides in a row after that, and there's Colin Mannion again, probably knocking that one over. He's been brilliant from place balls today, but that was the crucial period of the game. They had every opportunity to get right back into the game, and then the second goal the goal from Oisin O'Donoghue, who really capped, which was Tipperary performance, very good in ways. Yet to create, they threw up a good few chances to Galway, but they were very, very comfortable.
3 minutes of additional time will be announced shortly. Great catch by Dahi Burke. Great credit Galway, by no means giving up, but they need lots of goals at this stage. TJ Brennan trying to open up that Tipperary defence with a ball that is just about kept in by Colin Malloy. Did well. Into the centre. Now is the time to pull the trigger. Ball is wide. Declan McLaughlin at the end of the move.
Yeah, it was the
Just what
Rhoda
they got
Maher
right.
coming across there. Just watch it here again. Nice ball in. And 65, was it?
Cramp, unfortunately for Tipperary, so the medical team will have to deal with him. It's Declan McLaughlin effort here. At the end of a good Galway move. Just great defending by Tipperary and Ronan Maher in particular.
I thought I got a deflection out for 65, but there's nobody questioning it too much down there.
Robert Doyle from Clonouty Rossmore. Won a Jean Ryan actually with Thurles CBS in 2019 and has come through the ranks. We have a security breach now. Even Rhys Shelley can enjoy the moment, if you want to call it that. Rhys Shelley takes the puck out. We're now gone into the injury time. 3 minutes. Batted away. Gavin Lee fires Pádraig Mannion. Tom Monaghan got on a lot of balls since being introduced. Lays it off towards Tiernan Killeen. Galway shooting is hugely disappointing. They now have 16 wides. Mind you, Tipperary aren't that far behind them with 14.
But even going for a wide there, Mark, or going for a point, like, you need to be heading for the goal there when you're this much down.
Opportunity for Brian Concannon. One thing on his mind. Rhys Shelley doing so well. Let's look at this again as the ball came in. Brian Concannon having a shot. And between them and his defender, they saved the day.
Yeah, it was Owen Connolly and himself, but Liam Cahill will not be happy with this last 5 minutes. Like, Galway have waltzed through there. They've had a couple of chances. They've been pulled down for frees. Couple of half chances of goals, and it's just been that sort of performance from Tipperary. They've been very, very good at times, but they've been very lax at other times.
Carl Mannion happy enough to take the point, his 13th point of the match. Well, there's a huge gap between the two counties. This is the biggest there's been in quite a number of years. Normally 1 point or 2 point between them, but there's now 10 points, as you can see on your scoreboard on the top of your screen. 117 Galway, 127 Tipperary. Liam Cahill shouting on the sideline, go, go, go. But Derek Pahey will deal with that slither rather easily. Cutting it into the middle, but it's a terrible ball. And Tipperary latch onto it. Jake Morris wanted the pass. But Andrew Ormond was intent on increasing his score sheet here with his 4th point of the game. And I think you're right, Michael. Tipperary will be 5th point of the game. Tipperary will be disappointed with the last 10 minutes or so, because I know they're strolling, but you'd expect a little bit more intensity from them, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, you just be anxious to finish it out strong, you know, to be, they did the hard work, they were well ahead. But you don't want to be giving away those. It's coming towards the conclusion now, but you mentioned Andrew Ormond there himself and Jake Morris, 5 each from play from the half-forward line. In the second half, they were the key men. And as I say, Galway just not taking their chances, but they had loads of possession. And that's going to be the, I suppose, what Liam Cahill, here's TJ Brennan again.
Here's TJ Brennan laying it off. Has to go for the goal, Declan McLaughlin. Rhys Shelley gets a touch to it, but the ball is in the back of the net. And Declan McLaughlin will take the credit for the cracking shot that beat Rhys Shelley. Tipperary goalkeeper will be disappointed, but it was a rasper. And just crawled over the sideline, or over the goal line. And it puts a bit of respectability on the scoreboard, but that's about it as we hit the 73rd minute.
Yeah, and it makes our point for us, Marty, just when we were talking about it. This has been sort of Tipperary in the last 10 minutes, very, very lax.
It's been an easy passage overall for Tipperary. They set out their stall in the early stages, and it's Liam Cahill that will bring Tipperary to Croke Park for an All-Ireland hurling semi-final. And that's going to be against Kilkenny, while Cork will take on Dublin in the other semi-final.
Yeah, I think before, to be fair to say, this morning, maybe nobody saw that coming, obviously with Dublin's win. But I don't think Cork, they've been forewarned now, you know, a brilliant performance by Dublin. bringing plenty of good options off the bench. Great teamwork, great passion and pride. And obviously Kilkenny now and Tip, what a rivalry that's been. And Kilkenny have, to me, been quietly very impressive throughout the championship so far. So 2 Leinster teams and 2 Munster teams in the All-Ireland semi-finals.
So at the Gaelic grounds on this Saturday evening, it's Tipperary qualified for the All-Ireland semi-final. Full-time score, Galway 2 goals, 17 points. Tipperary 1 goal and 28.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Michael. And here is confirmation of that semi-final lineup. Cork against Dublin, which will take place on the Saturday evening with a 5 o'clock throw-in. And then it's Kilkenny against Tipperary at 4 o'clock on the Sunday. Donal O'Cusack. It was all a little bit flat, wasn't it?
Geez, I don't often say this, no, Joanne, but thanks be to God, that's over. We even had the Rhys Shelley in goals for Tipperary. Had the luxury of trying to catch a ball. They'd normally try and stop it. Look, Tip were good, right? Tip can only beat what's in front of them. 128 is good scoring. From a Galway point of view, I know their execution, they had chances, but just in general, they were surprisingly poor. Micheál Donoghue is a good manager, a very good manager. He's got an excellent record. I believe he was given 4 years. By the looks of it, he's going to need all those years to turn this team around.
OK, we'll have more on Galway in just a moment and on Tip's prospects going forward. First of all, let's go down to Cathal to find out who is the man of the match.
Yes, Joanne, thank you very much indeed. And Andrew Ormond of Tipperary is our man of the match. And here to present Andrew with his award is Damien Crilly from Borgosh Energy. Andrew, congratulations. You are the Borgosh Energy player of the match. Great performance. You must be delighted to be in the All-Ireland semi-final.
Yeah, absolutely delighted. It's been a little while since Tipperary have played up in Croke Park, I think 2019, which is pretty amazing for all of us. When we were growing up, we were going up there every year, but no, I'm really looking forward to that now. So a great win and something to really look forward to in 2 weeks' time.
Was that a pleasing performance, particularly in the second half?
Yeah, no, I think Galway came out, they got their goal. I think we responded really well though. We knew it was going to be tight. Tip and Galway games over the years, they're always tight, but look, I think this year the character in the squad is just unbelievable. How we responded to that goal, I think we clipped a couple of points and then we got our own goal, super goal. So, we're just delighted with the way it went.
In terms of yourself, 5 points from play today. It's been a great summer for you so far.
Yeah, look, I suppose I'm there to do a job. You're playing in the forwards for Tipperary, you have to be able to take your scores, and look, another day it could be somebody else getting the scores, but look, just delighted to be able to be playing with Tipperary. It's an honour.
Another huge support for you here today for Tipperary. Do you feel like there's a momentum building around the team now?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the under-20 win really helped there as well. But I said the last day as well, the Tipperary supporters, when they like what they see and they see a team working hard, they're the best supporters in the world, and fair play to everyone for coming today again.
All right, Andrew, congratulations. You are the Borgosh Energy man of the match. Well done.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Thanks.
And he was the player Joe Canning highlighted before this match started, and the impact he's made since he came in, and particularly his movement.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, for a Galway point of view, he was brilliant again today. He got 5 points from play. His movement, he was winning puck outs, especially even after the Galway goal, he caught the puck out and over the bar, but it was just his work rate. He was very industrious. He was around the pitch. He dragged Gavin Lee all over the place. He was switching, and his work rate was really good as well. But there's a kind of a Galway mistake, and that was littered throughout the day, unfortunately, for Galway. Just a few handling errors, a few stick passes went astray, and they couldn't get any momentum. But here, this was after the goal, I think it was, and a catch, and unbelievable score, in fairness, when you need your big players to step up. He was really good. They scored 122 from play out of 128. That's brilliant shooting, and it's big question marks for the opposition, but when they're scoring 122 from play, Jake Morris scored another 5, Sam O'Farrell, John McGrath 3, Jason Ford had 4, 2 sidelines. Dara Stakelum came on with 2, so they have a spread of scores there that's really good.
On Andrew Ormond, it's great to see. He's been around the panel, I saw it, since 2021. It just shows you when certain players get a run of games and that bit of form, and all they need to be kind of let out the pasture kind of thing. But he's been outstanding this year, and a massive find that they probably didn't expect it to start here.
It must take some own personal confidence to be able to do that, though, because it could be easy to go the opposite, couldn't it, if you are there and you don't feel like you're getting your chance?
Yeah, well, I only see with our own team with Clare, Peter Duggan would have been around our panel for a long time, and then all of a sudden got a run of games, and one management kind of stuck with him, and look where he's gone on the last number of years. And same with David Reedy in Limerick. Like he was on the panel, went to Kildare for two seasons, I think, and then came back and has been a mainstay in the Limerick panel. So, it's interesting. Just sometimes at intercounty, you just need to be given that bit of backing.
It's probably from the management point of view, John, that like Liam Cahill and his guys probably backed him, said here's number 11 now for the next few games, it's yours, you can take it. Like the same with Duggan and these guys. So if the management back you, that gives you a good bit of confidence going in.
This is obviously a really important victory for Tipperary, especially given that they've struggled at All-Ireland quarter-finals. They've struggled against Galway, but, and I'm sorry to have to ask this, Joe, given the Galway performance, how much does that actually really tell us about what's within Tip?
To me, it's hard to know. It's hard to know. That Galway performance was disappointing. There's no other way of saying it. It was the players will feel disappointed. The management. That's not probably a true reflection. Maybe it is on some of the performances this year. It's been up and down. Tip were so commanding. Like they're settled. They're confident. Straight away, you can hear the tip going. It's Don Logue is a big fan of that. I can tell he loves it. But yeah, they'll have plenty of confidence going into the semi-final, and teams will fear them.
Would you think Cork would be fearing a team they hammered down in Páirc Uí Chaoimh a few weeks ago?
I think, like we said before the game, I think the Tips form is very good. Look at the whole season now. Add in a big beating to Galway in the quarter-final. Ormond had mentioned the under-20 win. All of that feeds into the whole mood. I think Tip are in a good place going into the All-Ireland semi-final. It does make for a massive game between themselves and Kilkenny. So I'd say Liam Cahill, after a couple of tough years, can go home fairly satisfied, knowing that he's got the shoulders in good shape.
Speaking of late, let's hear from him now. He's with Cahill.
Liam, congratulations. Great win for your team. You must be really pleased.
Yeah, thanks, Cahill. We're delighted now to be in the last four of the All-Ireland series. Like always a kind of a pressure game. These games, historically Tip and Galway are always really difficult for us anyway in Tipperary. So just delighted to get the job done today.
Were you happy with your team's performance overall?
No. Look, credit to Galway. To be fair to them, they brought like everything that we knew they would early on. Could have cut us open for maybe 2 or 3 goal opportunities there in the first half. We were very fortunate to be on the better end of that. But we have a lot of aspects to go after our play. Like our intensity petered out a lot near the end as well, which would be a concern. But all in all, it's about qualifying, getting the job done, and we have plenty to work on for 2 weeks' time.
It felt like the game could go one of two ways, maybe when Galway got that goal early in the second half, but your team responded really well. Were you pleased with that? Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted with that, because it's a trend of this squad of players all year. We've come out of some ferocious battles already. Ennis for being an example again, the All-Ireland champions. So when our backs were to the wall, and again today when the goal came, it brought it back to 2 points, and I think we tacked on 2 or 3 ourselves then to increase that gap. So that's always encouraging when you see that from the lads. The work rate from your team, the crowd really responded to some of the defensive turnovers your team won. Yeah, look, that's what the Tipperary public come to see. They have no issue with results once we're doing that in the jersey every day. We go out and fighting for everything that's on offer. I've been quoted on saying that many times, and we have to continue doing that. But as I said, we need to execute a lot of aspects of our play today that we wouldn't be happy with, and I think we created a lot of scoring chances as well that we butchered at certain stages. So plenty to go on, but still in the hunt, which is really exciting. 4 teams left. You're one of them. You got Kilkenny now in a semi-final. That's a huge game to look forward to. Yeah, it's a huge game to increase the banter around the Ballingarry, Tullaroan, Urlingford borders, and Gurtnahoe, Glengool, all around that area again to renew the rivalry of old. So massive game for both teams, and Croke Park beckons, and look, we're just happy to be back up the N7 after being absent for a number of years, and it's exciting times again in Tipperary, thank God. Well done today, and best of luck. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Yeah, well done to Liam Cahill, to all of Tipperary. Andrew Ormond may have got man of the match. This man was definitely in contention too. Jason Ford. Jason, congratulations being in an All-Ireland semi-final. It's just so huge, isn't it, for Tip?
Oh, it's massive. You know, it's since 2019, since we were last there. Like, you know, seems like a long time ago now. At the time, we didn't think it would take us as long to get back there, so we're just absolutely delighted to get over the line.
I'm just laughing at the fact that we have obviously Jason Ford here standing beside John Conlon as well. Have you had quite a few battles with this man down through the years?
Absolutely, yeah. Fantastic player, and I think we marked each other a couple of times, all right, but never got the better of him.
What's kind of the difference, let's say, this year compared to the last couple of years? Like, is it confidence? Is it young lads coming in like Dara and Sam O'Farrell, these guys adding a little bit, or can you put your finger?
It's probably a range of things, Joe.
Yeah.
You know, 23 was obviously Liam's first year. I think any management team in their first year, bar it's an exception really. It's kind of a bedding in kind of period. Probably got a few things then wrong last year, and I'd say, you know, Liam has kind of been open enough about admitting that we probably weren't as fit as what we are this year. And then, as you say, that youth coming in like Dara, Sam, Oisín, like just the way that they approach everything, like they have no baggage. They're coming off the back of winning under 20. They just love hurling and love training, and we're all feeding off that kind of energy, you know.
Yeah, Jason, you're an example of what's. I love watching about Tipperary, magic wrists, right? Okay, and there's some fantastic scores there today. In terms of the sidelines, the decision around going for them or not, is there anything that it informs that on your side?
Yeah, I suppose like most teams are kind of gone away from it now, aren't they? Like it's kind of, you're seen as you're kind of giving up possession with maybe not working it short or whatever. Now, like it's funny, before the Waterford game, like we were working on it in training that, you know, if we got a sideline, like how we were going to approach it or whatever, and then just John fired me the ball and then and two of them went over, so the lads just kind of look, have at it if you fancy it.
You got the white boots on, so you have to score them.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, what you missed there is Joe Canning's face when Donal Óg was daring to ask about going for sideline cuts.
Well, yeah, well, you have if it's in your locker, you have to try it, don't you, Jason? Like it's obviously in your locker, and like, listen, when they don't go over, everybody's an expert then, and they'll come back to you. But when you got two lovely ones. They were around 40 yards out on
that side as well.
The side. And I'd say at the start of the game, you know, when you were getting these, you got 3 or 4 points there just all of a sudden, and then you got your first line ball. It was like, did it feel that, geez, today I could get 7-8 points from play, or what was going through your head that stage? Or
yeah, the ball was pinging around in there, and I think we were kind of all feeding off it. Like I think John had John 3 in the first half maybe as well, and we were all kind of looping around and kind of getting different chances that were falling, you know. And yeah, look, as you say, when you come out to the first line ball and it goes over, it's great, but you might be coming for the second one if that first one doesn't get there. So.
yeah.
Do you want to have a look at a few of those there? I know it's always difficult when you've just come off the pitch to see what you've just been in the middle of, but the lads might help you along here having a look at some of them. So this is one of the sidelines.
If he didn't score that now, it's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's from that side as well, isn't it? It's kind of, they can kind of bring him back in. The other side is obviously more difficult, but just delighted with it.
And were you doing a lot of movement in the first half? Like you seem to be picking up different positions the whole time. Was that a thing at the start of the game that you were conscious of, or were you? Not
overly, no. I suppose like Jake spent a bit of time inside and he spends a bit of time outside, but it was just more natural kind of movement. You're kind of, because Galway were working a lot of the puck out short, we found that we were tracking out, and then you just kind of find yourself naturally kind of out there. So you know, and then it's just trying to work back in so that the boys have an outlet ball then to hit.
And is Liam very like that, as opposed to being very structured, that if you see something out there on the pitch to do that and you have the freedom to do it?
Yeah, definitely. Like he always talks about you know, hurling with instinct, and that he's not going to take the instinct out of any player, which is great. Now obviously we have structures and systems that we have to work to as well. But no, he's not going to restrict anyone in that way. You know?
In terms of the subs, you got a big impact off the subs today. You know, Sinead Donoghue, he's come on and done very well in the 20s, and Noel obviously coming in off the bench is such a big thing as well, you know.
Yeah, like the bench is massive. Like, and like Oisín's only 19. Like he still has another year under 20. Like he's going to be a serious player going forward. That's 2 goals now off the bench in the last, let's say, the Waterford game and today. So like we're getting impact there. Noel just brings such a cool head to it. Like he's all the experience in the world, and like if you hear any of our players talking, I suppose we always talk about Noel being a big driver in our group. And you know, he's a massive figure there, and as I said, he just comes on, calms the whole thing down. Like there's not too many players would have given the pass for Oisín's goal after coming on. They would have been thinking, I'll get my own score here, whereas that's never the case with Noel. Like.
Yeah.
You now have, so you're getting back to an All-Ireland semi-final, you're getting back to Croke Park, and you're getting back to Kilkenny. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, look, as we said, the big aim was just to get back to Croke Park this year. As you said, it's 2019 since we were last there. These younger players, they need that to get there and experience that. For it's gas, for a lot of that team probably have never played in Croke Park before, with the under-20 matches being kind of Nolan Park and different places. A lot of that team won't have actually played in Croke Park. So, look, we'll be relishing it. Another 2 weeks, back to training on Tuesday, and we'll just go at it as hard as we can.
Just one more quick question about the younger players in the squad, because Andrew mentioned them as well, and obviously they're great players. They've got these big victories under their belts. But does it also change the dynamic within the squad? Because you talked about Noel, you've obviously been there for many years as well. Does it change the whole atmosphere too?
Oh, it does, big time. Like I said, they just bring no baggage, and they're just mad for hurling. If Darren McCarthy could stay in the field for the whole day, he would. That's the type of lad he is. And the other two boys are the same as well. So, they just brought a great bit of youth to it. As well as that, it had lads looking over their shoulder early in the year too. A lot of us probably didn't get a huge amount of game time in the league. And that kind of drives you to up your standards as well, and make sure that you're going to be in that first 15. So, all of that feeds into it as well, and it's really, really healthy. Big competition there, and, I guarantee you that team will probably change again for 2 weeks' time.
Jason, it's been brilliant having you up here. I know you have to get down into the showers due to the fact, as you told us, you weren't made for this warm weather. And yet it didn't look like it when you were out there. It was a brilliant performance, and best of luck in the All-Ireland semi-finals. Jason Ford will be back with more reaction and analysis after the break and our competition.
Here's your chance to jet off with Aer Lingus to bustling London, with daily flights to London from Dublin, Cork, Knock and Shannon. Check it out on airlingus.com. Once there, you'll stay 3 nights at the Westminster London, a 5-star hotel where elegance meets intrigue, just moments from London's iconic landmarks. You'll also enjoy a champagne lunch at Wickham's, located in elegant Soho. And, so you can be adventurous in London, you'll soar above the iconic Tottenham Hotspur Stadium by taking on the Dare Skywalk, along with experiencing all the thrills and excitement at London's ultimate indoor go-karting at K1 Speed. Plus, so you can hit the shops, we're also giving you €1,000 spending money too. For your chance to win, answer this question. Which of these is the current manager of the Galway senior football team? Is it Mickey Graham or Pádraig Joyce? To enter, call 15 17 71 71 74 or text the word GAME followed by your answer and name to 57886. Maximum cost per entry is €2.50. You must be over 18 to enter. Lines will close at midday on Monday, 23rd of June. Full details are on rte.ie/competitions, where the lucky winner will also be revealed.
Ayr, proud sponsors of the GAA Hurling All-Ireland Senior Championship.
School shoes already. What's next?
I don't know. Well, she's definitely going to be the best student in her class. What if she gets really into sport? Maybe not that into sport. Then there's marriage. That could be a big one. And what if I'm not around? And what if...
I know. Maybe we should concentrate on the shoes.
For 80 years, we've been helping people embrace life's changes. For health, life, pensions and investments. A better life with Irish Life.
Gum problems? They could get worse unless you use a gum expert daily. New Corsadil Gum Strengthen and Protect with hyaluronic acid. See? It helps strengthen the gum seal for long-lasting gum protection. Allow me. Thanks. Corsadil.
We love better value at Dunnes Stores. Freshen up with selected hair care, tan and deodorants. Now half price. Get holiday ready with travel toiletries. Mix and match 3 for 2. And enjoy the sunshine with selected Garnier Ombre Solaire sun creams. Just €10 each. Plus, you can save at the till with a 5 off 25 grocery voucher. Dunnes Stores. Always better value.
Welcome to a world where everything just flows. The new fully electric Kia EV6 with ultra-fast charging. The Kia electric range, available with 0% APR finance.
Kia,
Movement that inspires.
Introducing the new fragrances of Comfort Scent Booster Elixir, with up to 10 times more freshness that goes on. And on. And on. And on. Wow! First pour your favourite comfort conditioner, then add your Scent Booster Elixir. With its bead-infused formula and scent lock technology to get that fully fresh feeling all day long. The all-new Comfort Scent Booster Elixir. Now that's next level fresh.
Earn as you go with our PTSB Explore Current account. With a banking experience that means more for you. You can earn up to €5 a month as you pay with your card, up to 5% cashback when you pay bills with our partners, and 2% cashback on monthly PTSB mortgage repayments until 2030 when you pay from an Explore Current account. Apply in-app and start earning today. PTSB, altogether more human.
Renew your garden with fantastic offers from Yisk. Right now you can save 20 to 60% on selected garden furniture. For example, get this lounge chair for only €200, save nearly 60%. Or this chair for only €90, save 60%. Yisk, Scandinavian sleeping and living.
The moment I feel my pain starting to fade, it's like I'm going back to myself on a good day. Panadol Extra Soluble. Powerful pain relief. Panadol. Release starts here.
It's all heating up now.
Oh, it is, yeah.
It's taken some time for Tipperary, hasn't it? But they are finally through the All-Ireland quarter-final stage. They are finally, as Jason Ford told us, back in Croke Park, back in an All-Ireland semi-final where they're going to face their neighbours and rivals, Kilkenny. Final score from the Gaelic grounds, Tipperary 128 to Galway's 217. In many ways, the spread of scores there tells an awful lot of the story. But Donal Óg, actually, I wonder if you even just look at the Oisín O'Donoghue goal in itself, does that tell a lot of the story of that match as well?
Yeah, I think there was lots of examples, Joanne, that Galway will be really disappointed. Actually, here was one of those examples. One of the good things from Galway at times today was how they worked the short puck-outs. They made a lot of errors, but they did some good short puck-outs. There's a good score from Tom Monaghan. But straight after it, you can see the lack of organisation. It's almost like everybody else is looking to somebody else to do the job. And it's one thing that'll kill you. They say speed kills when it comes to setting up your defence properly, but space and speed will kill you. And the goal from a tip point of view is an example of that. Look again, massive space. Galway players don't even seem to be coming back with urgency. Oisín O'Donoghue, loads of space again. Not to take away from that class that we know that Tipperary have. 1 point to note for forwards in terms of the finish here. Puts Darach Fahy the wrong way and also hits the ball into the ground when you're not in that strong standing position where you can overpower the shot across the goalkeeper.
I love how he had the little look up before he struck it as well there, looking around him too. Oisín O'Donoghue, not just Noel McGrath who supplied the pass. You, John, were asking Jason there about the forwards who came on and added to the scoreboard, because we were talking how quickly the starting forwards got on the score sheet, and yet they have so much more coming off the bench, it seems.
Yeah, look, they did such versatility, and they all came on and made an impact. Especially Oisín O'Donoghue, we just saw his goal there, but it was a super goal, and then you had Noel come off the bench and see that beautiful pass, the intelligent hurler that he is. He kind of stayed that few yards. He let Cianan Fahy run off up the field, and we saw it here. He was on his own, and just to see that pass, it was just super to see. And then I suppose another thing then, a special mention to, I suppose, Seamus Kennedy. He came back from a serious injury from last year in ACL, and it's great to see him back in the field and going back to Croke Park. As I didn't realise, as Jason said, they haven't been there since 2019, which is a long time.
Just to go back to what you were saying about Noel McGrath, because obviously you and he have been soldiering for many years. You used to play in full forward, and you were just telling us about, everybody loves watching Noel McGrath. They love to watch his intelligence, but the little bits and pieces that he does when he's on the field. Yeah, but he's just so intelligent, and he just knows the game so well that when I play within the forwards of my club, I'm often trying to kind of
play the game like he does. He just goes into space to play, or he'll even just stand on the sideline just to take you out of the play so that it opens up the pocket of space for another player. So he's so unselfish with his game and his setup. So he's one of those special hurlers.
We're going to concentrate on Galway now for a little while, but before we do, let's hear from their manager. Here's Micheál Donoghue.
The defeat at the end, a fair reflection on what we witnessed there over the 70 minutes, do you think?
Look, I think it's hard from where we are now. I thought in the first half, general play, it wasn't too bad. I thought we created a good few goal chances, and to say in the game against the top team, you probably have to take a few of those. I thought at the start, second half, rallied well, got the goal, but then Tip showed the quality, getting I think 2 scores out after that, and maybe we a couple of wides after. So we'll rule a lot of our turnovers, and against a team with the quality of Tip, they're going to punish you. But look, for us, it's very much a building project. You know what I mean? A lot of learnings from today, as cruel as it is, but look, we just regroup and go again.
Did you feel you were in a good position at half-time? Because there was a significant breeze out there. You're only 5 back at the break.
Yeah, it was a big enough breeze, but look, breeze is never going to do anything for you. But look, obviously we knew, I think it was 4 or 5 at half-time, we knew we had to start well and not let the gap develop. And I said when we got the goal and then the few wides after it killed us, but look, they showed their quality that they have, that they responded well after the goal.
Was that shooting inefficiency the problem in the second half? Because you had plenty of possession, but after the goal you didn't really kick on.
No, we didn't, and we needed to do that, absolutely. And look, yes, we shot a lot of wides, but equally so did they. But as I said, in a game of this magnitude, you need to be hitting the scores if you want to progress, and unfortunately today we didn't.
I know it's difficult now immediately after the game, but in an overall sense, how do you reflect on the year initially?
Look, I suppose you're going to look at where they were last year and where we were this year. So look, we, as raw as it is today, I still feel we made a step forward. But when you play against the top teams, you've got to be. We probably have to be more consistent in what we're doing. So look, there's a lot to work on, and we just have to go back to the drawing board and get at it.
Micheál, thanks very much.
Thanks, Carl.
Joe, when Micheál started speaking there, Donal Óg turned to you and he said that is one tough job he has ahead of him.
Yeah, but I think he kind of knows that it's a rebuilding kind of a job. It's difficult, there's nobody more going to be hurting than all the players and the management. They know that they didn't perform when it counted against Kilkenny on days and today. A lot of handling errors. Like when you're 8 out of 30 shots from play, like only 27% conversion rate, you can't be winning games like this.
And 22 in the second half.
Yeah.
22% conversion.
So stuff like that is in your control at a lot of times, right? Yes, there's pressure, but a lot of the times there wasn't enough of pressure to say, here, we're shooting so many wides. So it's unfortunate, but you have to go back to the drawing board. It's going to be a long summer and autumn and winter for a lot of guys, and a lot of looking in the mirror, and hopefully come back better next year.
I'm sure Tip had an awful lot to do with it, but Galway got those 2 goals, particularly the first one early on enough in the second half in order for them to build on it. But did it ever look like they would?
I thought when the goal went in, they got back, and here it is. It's a simple ball down into the corners where that's where they should be playing it, especially to the likes of Colin Malloy, because he's not the tallest man in the world, but brilliant finish. And I was actually shouting from here to pass it to Kevin Cooney, but in fairness to him, and you can see him, he got a yard or two. Now he had to work for it. It wasn't the best ball for him either. He had to work for it and took on his man and hit it low again, bounced it across, in fairness to him. So I thought they would, but then straight away Andrew Orman got the puck out, got a point, and this laid on. Like, this is just a consolation goal. Like, as Donal Óg said, like, Rhys Shelley tried to catch the ball. I don't think he would have done that if it was in the melting pot earlier in the game, but again he bounced it a bit of spin from Decky McLaughlin. It's just disappointing. And they just seem to lack confidence, and Henry said that when we were on air a few weeks ago for the first Kilkenny game. Henry said that they just lacked a bit of confidence, and it's hard to get that. You need to get a big result and a win, and we haven't got that over the last few weeks.
Okay, so a lot of work for Micheál Donoghue and for Galway to do. We're going to have a look ahead to the All-Ireland semi-finals now in a moment. But first of all, let's have a look back on what happened in Croke Park. Dublin beating Limerick by 2 points. They were down to 15 to 14 men when Chris Crummy was sent off in the 15th minute. They were still ahead at the break, and 2 second-half goals proved crucial. Here are the two managers.
The mental toughness, the resilience, the things we talk about an awful lot, but like when Limerick hit you back in the second half, even after the way they responded after the goals, your guys were able to respond with key points at vital times.
Yeah, and all I'd say, it's in those lads inside. I've no doubt everybody here or watching that on telly was thinking get to 50, 60 minutes and that this thing would level out, and you'd see Limerick that they would clip on their 5, 6, 7 points, whatever it was. I've no doubt that was the expectation, but what's inside in that dressing room is really, really special. And there's lads there that this whole thing means a hell of a lot to them, and we did not falter.
What does this do for your team, for that group?
Listen, it's a huge win. Once we were out of Leinster, it's a new competition. It's 4 games, we've 2 down, and there's 2 to go. So we'll enjoy this, but we have to look very. We don't know who we're playing yet, so we'll be focused on that for a fortnight's time.
Tell me, what was your view of how you were going to reshape the team after the red card? Because I know it can cause problems for the team with the extra player, as well as issues for the team with the 14, obviously.
Yeah, well, we had the spare man, and we used it the same as we always would. As at the back, to give you that little added piece of security. But listen, ultimately it didn't work. But I don't think it was down to that. I think, listen, when you look at our performance, you'll see some missed pickups, drop balls, some wides that would be normally executed off the bar, and we were just that little bit off. And I think ultimately no excuses from us. It's hats off to Dublin. We wish them well and congratulate them on their win.
Just maybe, John, may I ask you about the build-up, because you guys never underestimate anybody you face. You're too professional and outfit for that. But the narrative around it was, look, Dublin will put it up even with 15 to Limerick for 60 minutes, and then Limerick will pull away. And I know you're great at blocking out the kind of white noise, but do you think that probably wasn't helpful for Limerick to be even hearing bits of that?
No, that doesn't come in on our psyche. We deal with all those narratives ourselves in-house, and we've already been beaten by Dublin in January in a challenge match in Limerick, so we were acutely aware of how well prepared they are. They've top-class management team. They're super prepared, and it was evident on the pitch, and they just got it right, and they showed phenomenal levels of hunger. When you have that, you give yourself a chance, and they give themselves an opportunity to win the game today, and they took it. Thank you very much.
Safe journey home.
We reckon that is the first time since 2017 that John Kiley's Limerick have finished without any championship title or any league title either. And you heard Neil O'Callaghan saying they didn't know yet who Dublin were facing in the All-Ireland semi-final. We now know, as a result of what happened in Limerick, that Donal Óg, it is going to be your boys they are going to be playing.
Yeah, should be on a Saturday evening, Croke Park, full to the rafters. I think from a Cork point of view, forewarned is forearmed. I think was it 2013 that Cork played Dublin in the All-Ireland semi-final before playing Clare in the final. That game was really tight. Dublin had a player sent off, had a couple of chances and so on. But you have to say it, that the story of today is Dublin, and it'll definitely add something different now to the All-Ireland semi-final than most of us were expecting.
What in particular would you be concerned about?
Well, I think that Dublin were full value today. I know we were speaking at half-time. I suppose all of our lenses are through Limerick so much, them being such a great team over the last number of years. But I think they've got a high level of skill, huge athleticism. They dominated Limerick today from a hunger point of view. I know John Kiley, he's going to be very honourable and very respectful the way he talks there, but you just listen to some things they'll say. That hunger side of the house, Dublin were definitely the hunters today when it came down to Croke Park. So I know everybody is going to say it, but it's there now for them if they want to. You heard their manager saying that they've 4 games as part of this competition. He's not a man that's going to be. He's not going to be overly confident, but you can see that he's got big ambitions, and he's been very successful from a club point of view. But I do think it makes for a great semi-final. I always worry about those Saturday semi-finals. Should there be any All-Ireland hurling semi-final on a Saturday? I don't think that there should be. But anyway, we've went through that point on a number of occasions. But a full house a full Hill 16 mixed with Cork and Dublin fans. Beautiful mix in colour. Two great teams. Looking forward to it. Not to mention what's coming the following day then between that storied fixture of Tipperary and Kilkenny.
He's already put it up to Dublin fans now, so make sure you get out there to the Hill and join those sprinkling of Cork supporters as well. It must be so exciting for the 4 teams involved, because you have 4 teams who've waited quite a while. I mean, 2019 is the most recent of the All-Ireland winners, Liam Sheedy's Tipperary back then, but everybody else is trying to bridge this big gap.
Yeah, well, look, I suppose with Limerick being out and us as All-Ireland champions, I suppose, being gone as well, there's such excitement there now going forward into the semi-finals. 4 new teams, bar maybe, obviously Kilkenny and Cork have been there before, but you have Tip and Dublin now. It's going to bring massive crowds to those 2 games, and that kind of sense of newness, I suppose, that we've kind of been missing in the championship over the last number of years.
But that's it exactly, isn't it? And I wonder, and he'll get annoyed when I ask you this, does it pile even more pressure onto Cork, do you think?
I
didn't say high.
Maybe so, because a lot of people were probably thinking after the Munster final it'll be Limerick-Cork again in a final. It'll definitely have people talking about it. Do you know that it's Cork's All-Ireland maybe to lose in some ways? No, but that's what people will say. That's just the reality of it. Other teams, obviously, Dublin, obviously Tip and Kilkenny will have something to say about that. But that's just what the general public will be talking now over the next few weeks. And that's the reality. Because they are, after winning a Munster Championship, after winning the league, they are the form team. But semi-finals, they take on a life of their own. Some of the best games we've seen over the past number of years have been the semi-finals, because teams just go at it. They don't care. It's semi-final, it's there to be won, and they just go at it.
And there have been so many twists and turns in those semi-finals down through the years as well, and upsets, of course, along the way. Now, do not forget about tonight's Saturday game, which will have more reaction and analysis of the hurling, but also the All-Ireland football quarter-finals from today as well. That's at 9:30 with Damien. And the Sunday game, as always, we have tomorrow the Tailteann Cup semi-finals, Wicklow against Limerick, Fermanagh against Kildare from 1:30, and the Sunday game highlights of tomorrow's action with Jackie from 9:30. For now, though, a big thank you to John for joining us this afternoon, along with Joe and Donal Óg as well. Tip got on top in Limerick, but most of the headlines are going to be about Dublin's capital performance in Croke Park. From all of us here, bye-bye.
And you can't see that I can't be alone, 'cause your heartbeat doesn't chase me no more.
Block him, Padraig! Get on him, will you? Oh, good man! You're like a brick wall.
Where there's hurling, there's Centra.
Thanks to your giving, the RTE Toy Show Appeal has now raised over €26 million for Irish charities. That means over 1 million children and their families will have their lives changed for good. 169 children's charities across every county on the island will receive funding, helping them put more smiles on more faces. RTE Toy Show Appeal. Let kids be kids.
John from work said it's a lovely hike.
Right, Rosie, can I have the boots bag? No, I meant the hiking boots bag. Did we not bring it?
Buy one, get the second half price on selected healthcare at Boots. That's your summer sorted.
I am Usain Bolt, and I like to do things fast. And fast just got better. Fast just got better. Fast just got better. Persil Wonder Wash. Blast away invisible dirt and sweat. Our first ever detergent designed for shorter cycle. Better on odor, better on fragrance. Persil Wonder Wash. Fast just got better.
And now try new Persil Wonder Wash Sensitive for gentle next to skin laundry.
Being good with money is all about balance. And sometimes there's a wobble.
Do you need a hand balancing all that?
Spend, save, borrow and budget with Unpust Money's handy tools and products.
Now that's better.
And with 0% commission on foreign currency at the post office or in-app, we're making better happen. And now sell back unused holiday cash too.
So we got the results back from your MRI. We get lots of injuries like that.
Here comes the bride.
And it's good news. There's no tear, so physiotherapy will do the job.
Save me a dance?
We'll never leave you waiting. With fast access to MRI and X-ray in 5 days and results in just 2. Switch to Leia Healthcare today.
Massage temporary dans le boyau. Basin every 20 minutes to keep it from drying out. And voila.
This gonna taste all right.